Moe Factz with Adam Curry for October 24th, 2020. This is episode number 52. Yay! There we go. Fire. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the man who is so famous he can go and hotep Jesus for 3.5 hours and not show his face, the one and only Moe Factz. Hey, Mo.
How you doing, Adam?
I'm doing great, man. I still don't know what you look like. I'm doing great, though. Congratulations.
I look the same as I did last time.
Yes, you did. No doubt. Just as pretty. Congratulations, man. That was a fascinating conversation. I really enjoyed it. Could not get away from it. It was great.
And that's exactly what it was. A lot of people pushed back and said it was it's not an interview. It's not an interview. And it went exactly as I would have liked it to, as an in-depth conversation with, I think a very intelligent person. So yeah, I had a ball. And so much came into view for me about you that it wasn't an interview, sure, but I learned a lot. And I learned that you've been leading me by the nose for 51 episodes. You've just been, you know where we're going. You have the next 25 episodes all mapped out in your head, don't you? Not that many, but I do. There is a connective tissue to all of them. I will say that.
Yeah, it was really, really good. Very, very educational, very entertaining, of course. Watching two intelligent people get into something and treat each other with respect and still have it, have some heat going on. It was really good. It was good. I just really enjoyed it. Congratulations. Great appearance. Great for the show. Great for our show.
Yeah.
But also, I don't want to say too much, but you went on Hotep. All of a sudden, 50 Cent's coming out saying stuff. This, all kinds of things are happening. I'm going to place that on you, brother. I'm giving you the blame.
I saw it coming from ways off, but I can't take the credit for that. But it's nice to know that I may have contributed to it. Just the thought of it is just more than enough.
Well, there was a lot of things clicked into place for me. They really
I'm officially did. A Motep, I guess.
Yeah, yes, of course. It was Hotep versus Motep. Exactly. I love that. All right, let's see what we're going to do today, ladies and gentlemen. We spin the big wheel of topics to see where it lands. Nobody knows. Of course, Moe Factz knows where we are going to go today. The topic for episode 52 of Moe Factz with Adam Curry is...
They all howl intangibles.
Here we go. They all howl intangible. Who was that? Joy Reid?
That's actually Roland Martin, a.k.a. Mr. Juicy.
I'm telling you, that's the same thing. It's Joy Reid, Roland Martin, same person, rolled up into one.
Well, the man of the hour is none other than Mr. Ice Cube. He's the one that got this thing, going by his decision to actually talk to both sides. I mean, that's a profound idea there.
The way I understand it, he created the contract with Black America, and that part of that was taken by the Trump administration for the Platinum Plan. Is that what I understand?
Yes, that's the way I understand it as well. He reached out to both parties. Both parties talked back to him, but they were saying different things. And as you said, the Trump campaign actually integrated some of the things he had on his contract, and
he threw some platinum, and he threw some platinum on top of it.
Iced out.
So it was a no-no for who? A no-no for who was it a no-no?
Well, let's just get in the clip too, and we'll find out.
Rapper and actor Ice Cube is facing backlash after one of Trump's senior advisors revealed he is working with the administration. Now, Ice Cube tried to clear the air, saying he reached out to both candidates about his plans for Black America and the Trump campaign, which is the first to respond.
The Trump campaign came to me and asked me to explain to them some of the contract with Black America. That's what I did. I'm not playing no more of these games, these political games. We're not part of a team. We have very broad problems, especially the wealth gap in this country when it comes to Black Americans. So I'm going to whoever's in power, and I'm going to speak to them about our problems specifically. I'm not going there talking about minorities. I'm not going there talking about people of color or diversity or none of that stuff. I'm going there for Black Americans, the ones who are the descendants of slaves.
Whoa, must be canceled. Beep, 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 beep. No, we need a cannon. We need a cannon. No good.
Well, we found out a lot about Ice Cube because I think he's in that upper echelon of being above the cancel. And we're gonna lay it out. We're going to lay the whole case out. But I think what Ice Cube did single-handedly was to engage on all three fronts of the war that we talked about. You have your racial war.
Yep.
You have your gender war.
Yep.
And then you have your generational war.
Yep.
Because him going to talk to the other side challenges the old guard. Of course, we'll get into all three fronts. The other two, I think, are pretty self-explanatory because I think, like I said on a previous show, the Civil War or the intra-war between white people, the intra-war between Black people just went from cold to hot.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. It sure did.
Because when you come out and say, I'm not talking about minorities, I'm not talking about people of color, aka color people, and then I'm talking about ADOS, not DOS, ADOS. That throws down the gauntlet of no, we're not. I'm not here to be hijacked. And like you said, I'm tired of the games. I'm not a part of any team.
Now, question: when he says ADOS, is he talking the descriptor or the political movement?
I think he's talking to the descriptor, but I think he has spoken to Tone Talks.
I saw a lot of ADOS, the political movement, surrounding him online, if you know what I mean.
Oh, well.
So a lot of tagging, a lot of hey.
What you're seeing is if somebody speaks the lingo or somebody actually speaks from the heart, we will galvanize around them, whether it's the group, political group, or just the lineage designation, to protect them, because he's moved ground here.
Yeah, yes.
with what he did, and of course he has to pay the price. Mm-hmm. So MSNBC goes and that's what this clip was from Alex Witt. And she calls the clip that we played from Ice Cube. That was actually from the Cuomo show. And that's all we're going to play from that show. But MSNBC had to call up Roland Martin from the Miners and give him the work.
Joining me now is the host and managing editor of the digital show, Roland Martin Unfiltered. Roland Martin. Roland, thank you for being here. Look, we played that clip with Chris Cuomo.
He's so happy someone's they called me. They called me finally. I'm here. That's Roland Martin here to save the day.
Martin,
I'm back.
Roland,
I'm back, baby.
Thank you for being here. Look, we played that clip with Chris Cuomo. I know that you also sat down with Ice Cube. Give me your reaction when you heard about his partnership with the Trump campaign and the backlash. Do you think it was justified?
Well, first of all, I sat down with Ice Cube before Chris Cuomo. I had Ice Cube on my show a month and a half ago. Then I had him on the show Thursday. We had a 40-minute conversation, and we went through all these various issues. First of all, so he made it clear he's not working with the campaign. He did connect with the Biden campaign, and what he said to me was that they said, "Look, we agree with 85% of what you're saying. We'll connect with you after the election." The Biden Harris folks are saying we're not the ones who win power. And so Ice Cube, in my interview with him, he said that, the Trump folks committed to $500 billion in their so-called platinum plan. Alex, that's total BS. I went through the entire plan. This is a 2-page plan. So let's understand. Platinum plan is 2 pages. Lift Every Voice Biden Black America plan is 22 pages. And so the reality is that I said to Ice Cube, look, what they're committed to, there's no commitment. There's nothing substantive behind it.
Wow. Okay. Just from my perspective, quickly, I saw the Lift All Voices we talked about on this show. In fact, I think I pointed out to you the minute it came out. We read through that. We're gonna have another commission. We're gonna talk about stuff. We'll get some minority stuff. The Trump plan said platinum, $500 billion. It was clear as day. Neither one is necessarily something that's going to happen, but the plan, 2 pages or 20 pages, who gives a crap? Give me 2 pages any day.
And it's the dollar value. So say if Ice Cube is only able to secure 1% of the $500 billion, that's still $5 billion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hello.
But it always comes down to, and this is the same thing with President Trump's medical plans. I mean, you can see it. He has executive orders that he's issued, but because he doesn't have a huge 2,000-page document, which no one ever reads and they just pass and it's all special interest for everybody, this is a very simple plan. You just got to believe the guy's going to do it. But it says it in black and white, $500 billion. No such number in the Lift All Voices plan.
I didn't see a number, actually. I mean, I don't remember an actual number. They just said, we're going to do these things.
Yeah.
But I don't think they put any specific numbers.
You mean
what we had to realize
Biden's plan had no numbers or Trump's plan?
Oh, no, Biden's plan.
Yeah, exactly.
There was no number that stuck out like $500 billion. I mean, when you say $500 billion, of course, I've always said
it should have been $1 trillion.
The symbolism got to be $1 trillion, but I understand Trump's in a little trouble right now. He got to keep his base together. So $1 trillion might be jarring, might be a non-starter. So this is a start for the first 4 years.
and let me just ask. This $500 billion, do you, Moe Factz, consider that a form of atonement?
It's a start.
It's a start. Okay.
The reason why I say it's a start, we're going to have to play this thing out every 4 years. Just like Ice Cube did, put it on this. No, until we get something to say, okay, this is what we're going to do to atone.
I liked,
and that's finalized.
I really liked your tax-free status that you and Hotep were talking about.
That's definitely a tangible.
Yeah.
That's but there's a whole bunch of options, and I will say this is not, some of the things in the Platinum Plan were not specific to ADOS. But at least it wasn't minorities, that rising tide lifts all boats kind of mumbo jumbo that you had in the lift all. Yeah.
Whenever it says low income housing, then, it's for a whole bunch of people. It's not for a specific group. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, they had abandoned that, but I'm getting a little ahead of myself. So they called Roland Martin up. But the funny thing about the internet is there's always something out there lingering. And let's get into Roland Martin before the election.
Well, I need black people to learn to get some damn backbone. I need black people to stop saying, why you gotta do that now? It's too many things happening. We got the election going on. We don't need to mess up nothing. If they not gonna talk to you before the election, they not gonna talk to you after. King said, maintain your militancy.
Wow, man. Is that the sound of his podcast? Because Roland needs some help.
Yeah, but... So he's telling, see, this is the problem. And this is really the crux of the whole situation. When you have one party, if they only took one of Ice Cube plans, because obviously he agreed that they took some stuff from his plan and integrated it to the Platinum Plan.
Sure.
So there's something in there from his plan on there. If it's only one thing, we don't know. If it's all of them, we don't know. He didn't get specific. But Roland's saying, oh, well, the Democrats said they're not in power, so they'll talk to you after the election.
Right.
I don't think that's how it works.
That's how it's worked for the last 50 years. What do you mean? That's exactly how it works.
And that's why it has never worked. Exactly. That is the work, and how they've been doing it, and it's totally wrong. So for him to say that, and let me be clear about where this clip came from. He was talking about how they wouldn't come talk to him.
Yeah, of course.
He wanted the presidential, he wanted what Charlemagne was getting. And he's like, they won't come talk to me, if they don't come talk to you before the election. But then he turns around and is a hypocrite and says, oh, you should wait till after election to talk. I've never heard any negotiation that happens like that. Like, pay for your food and then we'll bring it to you when we get ready to bring it to you. No, that doesn't work.
Well, again, I mean, this is why I love it so much. For 51 episodes, we've been talking about how this is the Lucy in the football of ADOS. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
right after we're elected, we're going to talk to you. It's going to be great. It's going to be, woo, lift all voices.
It's not working anymore.
No.
And then also, you see how as we talked about before with Dr. King and him being used as a product or a tool or a function, he tied off his last statement with King said, this is this thing. It's a trigger. It's a trigger mechanism. I just want to point that one small point out.
Good point, yeah.
But now we're going to get into, this is from the 19th when Kamala Harris first came out and she talked to, Aaron Haynes, and she's going to talk about what Joe Biden's plan is for Black America.
We've talked about the dual pandemics of coronavirus and systemic racism that have been roiling us for several months now. I mean, it felt like the criteria changed so much for those of us on the outside looking in, kind of in terms of what Joe Biden might need as a campaigning and a governing partner should he win in November. I wonder if that changed what you thought that the case was for what you potentially brought to this ticket in this administration.
Mm-hmm. Well, the Biden-Harris agenda is a shared agenda. For example, Joe had a whole plan that was, his Build Back Better plan about the economy, but it includes understanding the connection between the creation of jobs and also bringing dignity and support to working families, right? And so, for example, one of the parts of the Build Back Better plan is to bring health care and home health care to seniors and to people who need it. But also make sure that caregivers are being paid a livable and a righteous wage and getting all the benefits in terms of workers' benefits. So in that plan, he adopted the Domestic Workers' Bill of Rights, which is something I've been working on for a couple of years. And when we talk about domestic workers, be clear, we are talking about predominantly women of color.
Colored people, colored women. Okay. So
what was missing from that clip, Adam?
Well, if I can look at it from a marketing perspective, first of all, I would say what they should have done is called it Build Black Better. Now, that would have been a plan. And I think that's what might have been missing from that, Mo.
No, the even mention of the Lift Act. She went straight to Build Back Better.
You're so right. You're right. She didn't even mention the Lift Act. Yeah, you're right.
So, because what Aaron Hayes asked her was basically, with you being brought onto the ticket, what are you going to do for Black people? That was the roundabout way of what she was asking her. And she's saying, well, with Joe and I had the domestic workers, blah, blah, blah. It's like nothing. I have nothing to contribute to anything for Black people. And the Lift Act is scrapped. And she had her own thing she was running down to the Essence Festival.
The Essence Festival.
So come on. I mean, so this is where the Democrats' mind was at. We got the Black vote wrapped up, and then here comes Ice Cube being a problem. And this is not Kamala's first time being dismissive of what the tangibles are going to be for Black people. We have another throwback clip. That was a previous throwback clip from 46. We have one from on show 18, and this is when she sit down with the griots, Natasha Alford.
So by default, it affects Black families, but there's not a particular policy for African Americans that you would explore.
But no, if you look at the reality of who will benefit from certain policies, when you take into account that they're not starting at the same place and they're not starting on equal footing, it will directly benefit Black children, Black families, Black homeowners, because the disparities are so significant. So if we focus on the specific issues that have resulted in the greatest disparities, and we understand that that's part of why we're doing it. Listen,
the reality also is this. Any policy that will benefit black people will benefit all of society. Let's be clear about that. Let's really be clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No, because whatever benefits that black family will benefit that community and society as a whole and the country.
Wow. That's right. Now, we played this on episode 18.
18.
Yeah, if you want to hear it in
almost
context.
A year ago.
Yeah, if you want to hear it in context. She said it right there. No, we're not going to do anything just for black people. That would be racist.
And that's why she had nothing to bring to add to Bernie Sanders. I mean, I keep saying Bernie Sanders. I'm
Joe Biden. Joe Biden.
So Joe Biden, she had nothing to bring to his plan because she had nothing in her plan. This is when she was running for president. And she was basically saying, no, I'm not going to do anything specific for black people. And she said this weird thing, and she said, anything that's good for black people
is good for everybody.
Good for everybody. I don't think that's what we're saying here, lady.
No.
One more thing. I caught a tale of hers, too. Because she might be president soon. Mm-hmm. So, when she says, let me be clear, or let's be clear, she's about to lie. Yeah, she's about to tell a lie.
I think that's the same with Joe, except he says, here's the deal. Look,
hers is let me be clear.
Let me be clear. Yeah, that's a big one.
And then also she says the reality of it.
Yeah.
So then she about to spin you some BS when she says that. So I just want to point those out. So Kamala and the Democrats and Joe Biden, her VP, had no plan for black people.
No.
Let's be clear.
They had a lot of spells and smoke and mirrors for women of color. But that's about it.
That is about it. So now we're going to go.
Isn't this a great time to be alive, Mo? Isn't it great to be witnessing this unfolding in real time in front of us?
I will say this. I have a gut feeling that this is 64 all over again. We're going to see a political shift in the size of 64.
Man, from your lips to God's ears, brother.
I just got that feeling in my gut because I'm taking the temperature. I read a lot of comments on YouTube, and YouTube has some of the most honest comments because it's not individual centered on the individual. It's like I can speak kind of freely and nobody comes back. The comments aren't linked to me.
Yeah.
In every video I read, it's like everybody try to talk down on Ice Cube or talk down on Tangibles. There's like an attack. I mean, everybody's in formation and everybody's on code.
Oh, is everybody like birds flocking together? School of fish.
I was about to say like that's what it's seeming like. But let's see here. So we have Ice Cube going back to the Ice Cube with Alex Witt. Clip number, I think
7. I think, yeah.
So, yes. Roland, when you point out with him, a 2-page plan versus a 22-page plan, what's his reaction to that?
Well, what he said, look, both don't go far enough, which is true. But here's what I also said to him when he's on last month. I said, Q, and we text today, we texting.
Oh, man, hold on. I just want you to know. So he texted and went, hey, yo, Cube, Ice Cube. This guy's full of crap.
I said Cube, and we text today. We were texting before he was on and after. I said you also got to have an infrastructure in place to then carry out what it is you want. So here's the deal. Let's say Biden Harris wins. Okay, then we have to, as A. Philip Randolph, when Franklin Delano Roosevelt told A. Philip Randolph, make me do it. Philip, we have to make them do it, which means you have to have an infrastructure in place of supporters. So one of the things that I said to him, I brought on Alicia Garza with Black Features Lab, where they put together a Black census project where they surveyed 30,000 African Americans of what they wanted. I said, Cube, you should be partnering with her, partnering with Tamika Mallory, Until Freedom, New York Justice League, TEPCO, Million Hoodies March. There are a number of entities out here that have infrastructure, policy people, lobbyists to get it. So again, Ice Cube alone as a rapper actor making demands will not achieve it unless you have infrastructure to push the process through.
Absolutely. You got to roll up your sleeves and actually get the work done.
Oh, wow. So he's trying to co-opt Ice Cube into the Black Lives Matter Inc. Infrastructure Oh my goodness. We need it. I'm
I don't even have to
speechless.
say anything because you picked all the points out of it.
And to add insult to injury, you said, "Look, here's the deal." Please. Wow.
But then there's one thing you missed because you did a mental leap there and you didn't catch it. He says Alicia Garza from the Black Future Lab, not Black Lives Matter. She's rebranding.
Oh yeah, no, she started a whole new nonprofit. She's definitely moved away from BLM.
Everybody's moving away from BLM, and we're going to get to that a little later in the show. Why? But
toxic.
When I heard that, I was like, Alicia Garza from the Black Futures Lab.
Yeah.
That's not your biggest accomplishment. If you look at Black Lives, I mean, from her point of view.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, hey, I'm Alicia Garza from Black Lives Matter, you know what I'm saying? Internet, globally known activist group.
Mm-hmm.
Not some Black Futures Lab that, that did a census that nobody read.
Now,
but I think she's trying to rebrand here.
We haven't done a Curry Cash check on Black Futures Lab, have we?
I don't think we did. And we'll get there because I'm going to come back and talk about Black Lives Matter on a whole nother show because we gotta investigate that a little further. But he also said both do not go far enough. I think 500 billion goes a lot farther than zero.
No kidding.
Because I mean, zero is what you have on the table specifically for Black people.
Right.
You picked up on the infrastructure.
Stop. I do remember this. I pulled this apart for No Agenda.
Okay.
Black Futures Lab. I don't want to be spoiler. I'll put the goggles on. Black Futures Lab is fiscally sponsored, which means they're not a nonprofit themselves. They get money and they raise money for their sponsor, which is the CPA, the Chinese Progressive Association. This is a Marxist organization run by the Chinese Communist Party.
And that might explain their relationship with the NBA and Disney.
Oh yeah.
So it's all linked together in some way.
Yep.
But yeah, basically what he's trying to do, Roland's trying to do, is trying to be a broker to get Ice Cube's movement co-opted into these established quote unquote infrastructure. And that's going to be a key word for today. But we're going to get to actually go listen to the conversation between Alicia Garza and Ice Cube, aka the infrastructure. That's what I'm start calling her from now on. And I will say this, and this is important, but it's not at this moment. She's on Roland Martin with this big old blonde wig on. It's like, hold on. Yes.
Alicia Garza had a big blonde wig on?
Yes.
Wow, that sounds kind of strange.
Off-brand?
Is there a picture of this? Is that the picture you sent me?
No. I know we're going to get to that a little later. But she had a big old blonde wig on. I'll actually post it on my Twitter one with her with another blonde wig on. This is not her first blonde wig. So she's went away from the box braids and she's going straight up blonde now. So it is important, but not at this moment.
Yeah, but I want you to know, I just found the picture.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's a brand image change. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Ice Cube respond to critics.
I don't think justice is a business transaction. I think if we're going to change systems, policies, and laws, we have to get in the game and stay in the game. And I don't think it's a simple, you give me this, I get that back, I give you this, you get that back. We have to govern an entire country, and we can't govern that way. Donald Trump is governing that way, and that's what's not working. I also want to just offer here that for me, I've heard Van Jones and others say that people need to go to the people in power. And I actually think I understand the premise behind that. But what it overshadows in my mind is it allows them to get off the hook for all of the other egregious things that they do to our communities. I can't help but feel sick when I hear Donald Trump, talking about the First Step Act, but then also telling the Proud Boys to stand back and stand by. And I don't get to actually look past that. That impacts my everyday life. I get death threats every single day from people who are listening to this president. president. I don't fault you for trying to move an agenda, but I don't think we can take any shortcuts here, and I certainly don't think we can jump the line. And, you know, it would be one thing if people actually weren't working on this every day. Imagine what we could do together, Cube, if I had access to a platform hold on. But I don't have access.
Hold on, Alicia, I know Cube has to go, but Cube, go.
This contract
go ahead.
Been out for months, so there's been, you know, if anybody wanted to work with me, I've been open invitations from day one.
Whoa! And was that Roland running interference there?
Yeah, Roland. Yeah.
Wow, that is so transparent. Hold on. I know Cube's got to go. Hold on.
But so I speak woke fluently, and let me just explain to you what she's saying here. So she starts off as saying, justice is not a business transaction. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
When you wrong somebody and you go to court, you settle with them and you give them payment for hopefully that you can get past what happened. Yep. That's exactly how it works. So she's anti-tangibles to begin with. Mm-hmm. And then she goes into this spiel, and you may want to go back. It's from second 8. I'll explain it, and then you can play it from the 8-second mark to the 20-second mark. She's basically saying you have to be the president for everybody. She's setting this bull crap up already. And maybe you could play that right quick. It's 8 seconds to 20.
Stay in the game. And I don't think it's a simple, you give me this, I get that back. I give you this, you get that back. We have to govern an entire country, and we can't govern that way. Donald Trump is governing that way, and that's what's not working. I also want to just offer here.
That's it.
Yeah. Well,
you can't govern that. That's the Obama thing. Like, Obama has to be the president for everybody. They're setting the same thing up again to say, you're not getting nothing. And I know that's a double negative, but I did it on purpose. And then you can't shortcut and jump the line. Basically, Cube, you're out of your water.
Get back in your lane, man. Back in your lane.
You're just a rapper or an actor. You know, leave this to the real professionals. And if I had access to your platform, aka the infrastructure,
aka the people.
Yeah.
Ice Cube talks to the people. 50 Cent talks to the people. Kanye talks to the people and some aliens, but still he talks to the people. By the way, it just dropped. He was on Joe Rogan, so I can't wait to hear that episode.
Oh man.
That's going to be great. It's going to be great.
That's great. But yeah, this is what she's saying. Basically, they want to co-opt Ice Cube, and that's when he went on Como after this conversation. That's what Roland was saying. I had him on first. He's thumping his chest. And Ice Cube said, I'm tired of the games. When you don't do what people want you to do, then they just want to slander you. And it was just, am I not supposed to speak to both sides? So we're going to get back to that. I want to say now, Black Lives Matter has been burned. It's over. It's done.
Fried.
Yeah, you heard in the NBA's distancing itself. They're not going to put the social justice comments on the jerseys in the floor for next season. You heard Mark Cuban get cornered by what's her name?
Megyn Kelly.
Megyn Kelly, formerly from Fox.
Mm-hmm.
So it's done. And the reason why it's done is when people start to actually do their homework that I did 5 years ago, not patting myself on the back, but it's they found out the same thing that Jason Whitlock found out from their website.
Black Lives Matter has backpedaled. I wrote about this, I think Tuesday on Outkick.com. Black Lives Matter has scrubbed its website of its What We Believe page. And I've been trying to explain to people for a long time that Black Lives Matter is a catchy slogan with a devious agenda. If anybody had ever just gone to their own website and read what they believe and what they were promoting, and that's why I say it's connected to what I just talked about Benjamin Watson. It said previously, We disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family structure requirement by supporting each other as extended families and villages that collectively care for one another, especially our children, to the degree that mothers, parents, and children are comfortable. Libby Emmons at the Postmillennial succinctly summarized the BLM agenda, writing, the BLM espouses Marxist principles of communal children and the demise of the family structure over American ideals and of individualism and family unity. This is an anti-father movement. This is an anti-male movement. This is about ending the leadership of men.
And they promptly removed that from their website once it got found out.
And they're burned. And as you notice, Black lives have been stripped off the streets. Black Lives Matter statues have been taken down. The NBA is backing away. Alicia Garza is representing herself as the future of Black Futures Lab.
Chinese with blonde hair.
Exactly. It's done.
Hey,
and I'm happy to see it go.
Am I allowed to coin a nickname for Jason Whitlock?
What's that?
Well, so we have 45 Savage, which of course I like. To me, this is J-Lock 100.
J-Lock 100.
Yeah, J-Lock 100 emoji. He's J-Lock 100. I saw him interview the president, and he said, I think Antifa is the modern KKK. I went, J-Lock 100, right there.
And that goes to show you, as a black man, to take his own future in his hands, leave the corporation like Fox.
Yeah.
Go over to the Outkick.
Yep.
And he's already interviewing the president.
J-Lock 100. He's unstoppable.
That's the power of independent media. We've been ringing this bell for a long time now.
We've been living
that the independent media is the new media. And I want to say this, lastly on BLM, even I want to relish in their fall. I mean, I'm happy because I read this at first when Black Lives Matter first popped up on the socials, just like with SARS. I go and look to see what it's about. Right. And it's like, okay, BLM. When I read this, and I was like, hold on. Disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family structure. And then I move down and say, especially our children, it had
a picture of you with a big X through it.
Exactly. Well, with the red, the no.
Yeah, the not allowed sign. Yeah, the red circle with a big stripe. Yeah.
Yeah. For mothers, parents, and children. This is nothing but No Man in the House 2.0.
Yeah, and significantly upgraded.
Yeah. So that's why it's a perfect storm. You have Ice Cube coming out. You got Black Lives Matter being exposed, and it's a beautiful thing. So as Ice Cube said, he says he's been around with the contract for with Black America for a while.
Yeah.
And he was on MSNBC with the beat with Ari, aka the hip hop whisperer. This guy,
Ari, he's always citing lyrics. He's the whitest guy in the world.
Right. He's in the ilk of a Max Kellerman. But Ice Cube got walked into a hit piece when he thought he was going to actually talk about the contract.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're not a legislator, but as I mentioned, a lot of artists and a lot of black leaders have been, frankly, ahead of this, whether it's the point of conflict and violence with the police or your document goes into reparations, economics, the presentation specifically of black people in our world, whether that's news media over here or entertainment media. So I think it's a fascinating document. I want to get into more with it. I also, because this is the news and everybody gets the questions, I wanted to give you a chance to address this controversy around you as well. As you know, we'll show one of the headlines that was reporting or alleging that you've been sharing, quote, anti-Semitic images or theories. We can show one example of one that went up that people did take that way. I wanted to give you the chance to address that. What do you say to people who look at things like this and think that while you're calling for civil rights, that allegedly you're also sharing this kind of material?
Wow. Took him right down your anti-Semitic hole.
Right. We understand your plan has reparations, but let's talk about the anti-Semitism first.
And for Ari to say, that's all good entertainment media, but this is news. Like, I think not, Ari.
And this was back in July. So this thing,
It's been around. Yeah.
So if the Democrats took him seriously and they actually watched the news, they should have been like, hey, let's go talk to Ice Cube. Let's go see if we can do something, at least, that kind of thing. But at the same time that this came out, it was 3 people that were taken down. It was Nick Cannon.
Right. Also on the anti-Semitic vibe.
Right. Deshaun Jackson, the football player. And then Ice Cube made the 3rd one. So I'm like, hold on. They lined Ice Cube up. They saw he might be a problem, but this was just a little love tap. This was just like, hey, we could pull a foul on you, but Adam, I sent you the picture.
Yes.
And for people at home,
Let me take a look.
If you look at that picture, does it strike you as anti-Semitic?
Let me take a look. By the way, in podcasting 2.0, which will be on this podcast very soon, just by saying this, it'll automatically pop up on your player, this picture. That's the future.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, that's the future I'm working on, brother. All right, so I have, is this anti-Semitic? So it's a bunch of, oh, holy shit. Well, okay, so what this looks like.
Can you explain to people? Yeah, can you explain to people? Because I don't want to lead you. That's
right.
why I sent you the image.
All right. So it's a bunch of guys, old guys. They look like bankers. They do.
Mm-hmm.
And they're sitting around a Monopoly game. There's a bunch of pieces on the board, and there's cash in the middle. And then underneath it are what look like a whole bunch of black people who are the table itself. They're all huddled over, and the Monopoly board is on their backs. So it's a very strong statement about, to me, how bankers and maybe real estate, I'm just looking at some of the pieces on the board, but I see a lot of Illuminati things. I see a pyramid.
Mm-hmm. The pyramid.
I see the eye. I see the obelisk, which represents that's actually the British pickle, the gherkin. So that would represent British bankers. And I guess you could say all these guys are Jewish, but one of them looks like Gandhi. Another one looks like Karl Marx.
One of them looks like one of those.
One of them looks one of them looks. No, that looks like Karl Marx. One of them looks like he could be an old Chinese guy. So if you are racist if you are bigoted in your thinking, and you just glance at this, and the first thing you see is, this is against Jews, you might not even see the blacks under the table. Very interesting image.
So this was actually a mural, and Michael Sagalov wrote about this 2 years ago on The Guardian. Even he said, first, make sure you actually look at the mural. Don't take a fleeting glance as you prepare your tweets, as you tweet your outrage. So he's basically saying that, he says that it doesn't look like, at first glance, it doesn't look anti-Semitic, but you have to know he goes on further to say it's not just the big hook nose, which I didn't see those, those things that are tropes and memes of,
no, if you actually look at it, you see Karl Marx, you see some Chinese guy, you see some Gandhi looking guy.
One of them look like Elijah Muhammad, the bald-headed guy.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, it could also be that. Yeah, it could be Elijah Muhammad. Yeah.
So I just didn't take that, but that goes you to the Space Jam reach.
Yes,
they use to.
That's a thoughtful image, man. That's a really thoughtful image.
Yeah,
that really is. It's cool.
So this was a love. So this was a love tap to Ice Cube back in July, just to kind of keep you in your place. And what we're seeing now is a digital lynching of Ice Cube, or attempted digital lynching. And I don't use that word lightly
no,
because people use it. They don't understand what it means, like psychologically. It's a psychological trigger for even the word itself.
Yeah, but this is no Jussie Smollett situation. This is real.
Yeah, this is a whole media takedown. Every platform, every mechanism they could use to tear down Ice Cube, they tried. But the only thing that saved him was the people. We swarmed around him and said, no, you're not going to take him down. So we have another person that spoke about digital lynching, and that's one Mr. Clarence Thomas.
I think something is dreadfully wrong with this country when any person in this free country would be subjected to this. This is not a closed room. There was an FBI investigation. This is not an opportunity to talk about difficult matters privately or in a closed environment. This is a circus. It's a national disgrace. And from my standpoint, as a black American, as far as I'm concerned, it is a high-tech lynching for uppity blacks who in any way deign to think for themselves, to do for themselves, to have different ideas. And it is a message that unless you kowtow to an old order, this is what will happen to you. You will be lynched, destroyed, caricatured by a committee of the U.S. Senate rather than hung from a tree.
And I'd like to add to that is not necessarily a matter of skin color or heritage. If you just look at what happened with Brett Kavanaugh at his confirmation hearings.
Exactly.
This is a function of, and I believe the problem with Clarence Thomas, he was a Republican appointee, was he not?
Yes.
Yeah. So
the problem, very conservative.
The problem is Democrats. That's the common factor here. Male and Democrat opposition. And I'm not taking away from his blackness. I'm just saying, these people are crazy.
And this is the old order he referred to. Mm-hmm. Even then, he was like, when you have the audacity to think for yourself, they get you back in line. And they've never, ever gave him the respect, even though I disagree with Clarence Thomas on a lot of things, to make it to that level of Supreme Court justice, it's supposed to hold some kind of significance. But did you know, and I don't know if I said this on the show or not, that needy leaks from Atlanta Housewives made it into the African American Museum before Clarence Thomas?
Let me guess. Who runs the African American Museum? A bunch of white guys?
That was the house that Obama built that Bush funded.
That's hilarious. And I think that ultimately it stifled Clarence Thomas, Justice Thomas. He never speaks. You really never, ever hear him talking about, rarely, I would say. And I think that's part of his lifelong condemnation, that he feels like, I got screwed. I'm not going to do it. I'll just speak with my ruling.
And just to give you some perspective from me as a child, the popular show Different World, produced by Bill Cosby, it used to come right on after the Cosby Show.
Sure.
They did an episode basically demonizing Clarence Thomas. And it was all about sexual harassment. So this thing went up to a high level. I was always surprised, why did Bill do that? I mean, just don't say, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything wrong.
Well, now we know why he did it. It was self-hate.
And projection. Say it for me one time. Say it for me one time.
Wat je zegt ben jezelf met je kop door de helft. That's how we say it in the old country. What you are, what you accuse others of.
And they had a whole episode about it, but about the Clarence Thomas hearings. So
fantastic.
I'll continue on. So people are like, well, Mo, that might be a little heavy-handed. You're saying lynching. Well, let's get into the Don Lemon clip with him talking to Cuomo.
I had a conversation the other day, and then I won't give it away, with Oprah. And she talked about the power of a platform, right? Just a phone conversation. Power of a platform. So if you're someone like Ice Cube and you have the platform that you have, and I don't want to disrespect him, he's very accomplished. I've only met him a few times. Nice guy. But one needs to know what one is talking about. One needs to educate oneself on just what is other than the basics about capital, which is important, about voting, which is important, and so on and so forth. So you have to be careful who you align yourself with. So you have to educate yourself about that. What is happening with the Trump campaign, and they have admitted it, is that they need African American votes to win. This is just to win for them. So what they're doing is trying to pit African Americans against Hispanics or against immigrants by saying that immigrants are taking your jobs. They're trying to appeal to African American men, I should say, men. They know that they cannot get the women, so they're not targeting African American women.
Wow.
Trying to pit African American men against everyone.
Wow.
Like we're some kind of attack dogs. Like Trump's like, here, boy, go get him. Go get him. But
wow.
let me say this. Don Lemon is such a chatty patty, and I'm glad he is because he said, I had a conversation, but I won't give it away. But then he goes on to give it away.
Yeah, right.
That he's talking to Oprah. So I'm glad Don has such loose lips. Pause. But he says, yeah, I'm talking to Oprah. So Oprah's in his ear. Like, hey, you better do something about this Ice Cube fella.
Get on the stick,
we need to hijack. Right, you need to educate him and hijack his platform.
But also, it's a very important virtue signal towards Don Lemon's audience and people, keeping his eye on him to say, hey, I got Oprah here. I got Oprah got my back.
Of course, but what I'm saying is he wasn't going to say that he was talking to Oprah, but he just had to let spill the tea that he was, I was talking to Oprah, but that lets you know who's pulling his strings.
Hey, he's a gossiper.
So you got to listen. If you pay attention to everything,
the truth will reveal itself.
Who's pulling Don Lemon strings? Now we found out. He's nothing but a talking head for Oprah. So let's get into the second clip from Don Lemon from this segment.
So the black thing. Here's the problem with that. I understand what he's saying about black people and about descendants of slaves. Again, be careful who you align yourself with, because this ADOS, African descendants of slaves.
Wait a minute. Isn't it funny that Don Lemon, that Adam Curry, the white man, says ADOS properly, and Don Lemon, the black man, says ADOS.
Is that because he's maybe? I'm going out of this.
He's trying to downplay, to discredit it. It's ADOS, dose. It's like one of the, I don't know.
That, and then subconsciously a dose, like a dose of something.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I like that. Very Freudian.
Be careful who you align yourself with, because this ADOS, African descendants of slaves.
African.
A lot of Russian bots, a lot of bots online targeting, doing the dirty work of Russia for that. And to discriminate, I think, again, it's okay to point out that you're a descendant of slave. Don't get me wrong. That's fine. And some people are not. And that doesn't make one person less or more black than another person. But to discriminate against someone, to say, well, we just want this because we are black in this way, I think is discriminatory, because people of color, there's power in numbers. It should be, there's nothing wrong with having a plan for black America and not just black Americans who are descendants of slaves.
Oh man. I mean, so hold on a second, Mo. I want to ask you something. Now, this is a cultural thing, and I think yes. Don Lemon is ADOS, and I know that
I believe so.
He knows very well that Kamala Harris is. She can identify as black, call her a woman of color.
Goggles.
I can't even see my goggles. That's how bad it is. Hold on a second. Where are they? Here they are. There you go. Okay, so, but maybe this is not goggles.
Mm-hmm.
So, growing up a black man, ADOS in America, you have the talk, but surely there's also a talk or part of the talk or part of what your family discusses that says, hey, we are different for this reason, and whenever someone pretends to do something for us, they let everybody else in. That has to be an ongoing part of a conversation in ADOS families today, is it not?
It's a running joke.
Oh, thank you.
It's just a there they go again. Somebody stepping over
So
us.
Don Lemon is propagating this while he has definitely had that talk in his family?
When Oprah speaks, you do.
You do. Oh, man.
Let me be clear.
Look, here's the deal. Wow.
It's sick.
Sellout.
But the black box thing,
sellout. He's a sellout.
He's bought and paid for.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem. And you know what makes it even more disingenuous? That not long ago, Don Lemon was lecturing April Ryan on this exact topic.
What do you make of her answer, April?
Good for her. There's a lot to unpack here. Number one, what does black enough mean? Can someone give me a definition of what black enough is? I don't want to go down the road of the stereotype when people say we're black. Number one, she is a black woman. She's a mixed race woman. When you see her, you see her blackness, but she is also South Asian. Her mom is South Asian and her dad is Jamaican.
April, let me listen.
Yes.
More power to her. And I think it's great. That should be enough. Listen, it is enough that she's a black woman.
We are not a monolith.
No.
Exactly. But they did the same thing.
No. I think you're not hearing what people are saying. The people who are saying is she black enough, that's bull. That's BS. But to want a distinction to say, is she African American or is she black or is she whatever? There is nothing wrong with that. There is a difference between being African American and being black. Latino people are people of color, but they're not black. They're brown people.
She is a woman of color, but she is a black woman.
Okay, that's fine. I agree with that. But is she African American? No. But is she African American? There is a difference. There's nothing wrong with that. No one is trying to take anything away from her.
Let's go down into her lineage.
I think you're falling into the trap of that. All she had to do was say, I am black, but I'm not African American.
Hey, where's that Don Lemon? What'd they do with him? They put in some clone. It's a different guy now. What happened to him?
I know Oprah was on the phone. You better fix it, Don.
Yeah, Don.
You better
Don. I heard.
Fix it.
Yeah, yes. Fix it.
Fix it now.
Or I'm going to send Gail over.
Dirty Don, boy. I'm trying to tell you.
Dirty Don.
How can you take that hard of a pivot when you know these things are on
YouTube?
Yeah, on YouTube. I mean, they're floating around. You know these things. I mean, he did it. Mr. Juicy did it. And it's like, bro, y'all said things that contradict exactly. I mean, not like we're reaching or
so good.
It's not like we're reaching or implicate like, oh, it's implied or that kind of thing. No, it's clear. It's clear as day that you clearly said she's not African American, and okay, that means lineage matters. And I wish he would have let her get into her lineage because it would only prove his point even further. But Don couldn't stop talking enough, long enough to listen and let her walk into that trap. But yeah, obviously Don, somebody got into his ear and was like, "Hey, bro, you better fix it and get on the same page that Joy Reid and Shereen Mitchell is on."
and that was Oprah.
Hey, it is what it is. And that being said, let's get into the throwback clip from show 15.
They appear to be a human, but they have a big gap, as Adam just said, in the times that they've tweeted. And they tweet you. Should you respond to them?
Generally, no. I mean, off the back, you should stay back and just sort of watch their engagement, how many times they're tweeting, what they're tweeting about, and even the topics in particular. And a lot of the ones that are pretending to be black people, or black women in particular, who are focusing on black identity, have these sort of aspects in the ways that they're talking about language. If we saw the other day, there was an account that was supposed to be for black supporting Howard Schultz. That account was eventually pulled down, but that was a prime example of someone trying to mimic support from the black community for a particular candidate. So these kinds of things that are happening at this moment, we have to pay a little bit more close attention to it because there is nuance, but there are also identifying factors. For example, right now from the Black Identity Framework, there's a new sort of hashtag and or identity that's in their bios called ADOS or DOS, which is standing for Descendants of Slaves.
Oh, man. man, oh man, oh man. Yep.
And you know what makes it even worse? Let me say this one thing, and I'll let you finish. Yvette Carnell was actually on CNN. And they're still calling it ADOS bots. I mean, that's how crazy they are. But the problem with Ice Cube is you can't call him a bot. And he's saying these things. Go ahead and continue. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say that I think it was that broadcast was what brought me to the path, because I heard that clip. I think it was that one. And I was like, ADOS, DOS, bots, and just every antenna went up with me. I'm like, huh? And that's when I started talking about it on No Agenda. And I think that's what you heard. And then you reached out to me is how the show started. I felt some bull crap there, and I noted it, and I couldn't quite figure it out. And then, there you go. The rest is broadcast history.
Thank you, Joy Reid.
Yes. I knew I liked her for a reason. Exactly. Thank you, Joy. Good work.
So as Ice Cube's making the media rounds, he has to hit all the hot spots. And I got to give credit to Ice Cube. He was hitting YouTube channels. He was hitting, radio stations. Anybody to talk to him.
Anybody that would do it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he was doing the work. He was spreading the message. So this is a clip from him going to Hot 97 and speaking to Ebro.
Have you decided how you're going to vote November 3rd?
I actually haven't. It's I'm a vote because there's a lot of things to vote for, in California, up and down, our city and state. But I just, I'm a real, true undecided voter, because they're not doing enough.
And the white supremacy alignment of Donald Trump and the people he has working for him who are overt white supremacists. Look, racism comes in many forms, but overt white supremacy, that doesn't put you off in potentially supporting Donald Trump?
Well, I'm not supporting Donald Trump. White supremacy do turn me off, but it's everywhere. And it's on both sides of the aisle. And, that's just the reality that we live in. And I'm not naive to that. So, we're engulfed in white supremacy. So, that's just something we're going to have to fight our way out of.
Wow. I love how leading the witness there.
And he really not messed up, but he really becomes a problem when he's saying, no, I don't know who I'm voting for.
Yes.
So then other people, let me say this.
Cube is in play. Cube is in play.
Ice Cube is one of the few people that was able to maintain pretty much who he was while navigating Hollywood. It's a few of them.
Good point.
You have Samuel Jackson, what they would call an unapologetic black man, right? I mean, they're not overly sensitive. They're not overly
Denzel.
I mean, they're men. They're men, right? I mean, what they say they mean. So for him to come out and give these kind of thoughts to black people of, hey, you might want to consider both sides. Hey, you might want to go talk to both sides. You might want to think about who you vote for and not just be some kind of
a bot.
Yeah, that's the problem.
An actual bot. Hey, stop. Wat je zegt ben jezelf met je kop door de helft. When somebody calls ADOS bots, they're projecting. They're projecting that they are actually the bots.
Because there's no, I will go vote blue on November 3rd.
He did that well.
That's it.
Yeah.
That is it. That is it. And that is all. No, we don't want to hear nothing. And then they do this weird, Ebro does this weird thing where you know that overt white supremacy is way worse than the hidden white supremacy. It's like, no, let's just say everything is like Ebro says it is. And both of the presidents are white supremacists, right? Candidates. I would rather have the overt. That way you can, that way you can galvanize around it. You can use it kind of like with how the Democrats use Trump. They collect donations, higher donations with a Donald Trump as compared to maybe a George W. Bush or the first George Bush. that's more of a centrist. So I'm just saying, if you take them at face value, it still makes no sense to go with the
covert
white supremacy. Now they're like, oh, I favor the covert. It makes me feel better.
Question: you saw the debate.
Mm-hmm.
At a certain point, President Trump was asked about denouncing white supremacy, which is not the same thing as racist or racism. And he went into this thing. And he was like, I'm the least racist person you'll ever know. It makes me sad that they call me this.
In the room.
In the room?
That's what he said. I'm the least racist person in this room.
In the room.
And
okay.
it's dark. And it's dark. And it's dark.
He's more honest than I thought he was.
And even people start trying to, what you mean by dark? What you mean? Right. The audience is dark.
So, but how did that come across to you? Did that come across as sincere? What were your thoughts?
To be honest with you, I think I've always said Donald Trump. I think that he is, and he's a narcissist, and he'll do anything to be to satisfy himself and put himself on a platform. I don't necessarily take him as a racist because his history. I mean, he's the worst racist I ever seen.
He's not doing a good job being racist.
Yeah, to hang around black people for your first, 60 years of life or 50 years of life, and then turn around and hire people and have them. I think he likes winners. And if you're a loser, you're a loser. Yeah. And if you have a loser mentality, it really irks him. Now, I will say this. Maybe we can treat him like LBJ. LBJ was a racist. Documented verbatim racist. Right. But he wanted to repair his image. So even people that's maybe even you could use that to leverage atonement out of Donald Trump. Even if you see him as a racist, it's like, hey, bro, you need to repair your image. You don't want to go down in history as saying there's fine people on both sides. Right. Well, we know, like I said, we know that's BS, but that's the narrative. So what are you going to do to fix it? And I think that's what he's kind of do now. And he's narcissistic enough. Of course, he doesn't want to go down in history as, even if for him it was, he did great things, he was a great president, but he was pretty racist. He doesn't want that. You're right. I think he's a narcissist and a very good one because you can play into that. If you know it, you can play into it. Yeah, you could exactly. You could the psychology. You're like, hey, it's not that hard. It's like kind of guilt him. Yeah, in a way, it's like hey, you looking bad out here, Trump. You need to do something to repair your image, right? And that could be done. So it's this thing that we've heard over and over again, but you haven't picked up on it. So anybody that thinks for themselves is stupid, is uneducated, needs to be educated. This uninformed. This is the lingo that they like to use. And I found this clip from Roland Martin. I know we're heavy on Roland Martin today, but he's a fascinating. Can never get enough Roland Martin. He's a fascinating case study because he has all the things. He's a certified boule. Yep. He's non-ADOS. He's been in the Democratic machine infrastructure for a very long time. And so he goes off on this rant about people that refuse to vote or not vote Democrat.
This is for all y'all just stuck on stupid folk who listen to ignorant people who call women bed wenches, who are telling you fools not to vote.
Okay, hold on a second. I have some questions. Yes, I knew you would. As we go along, I want to clarify a few words that are being used here in terms. Hold on.
This is for all y'all just stuck on stupid folk.
Okay, stupid folk. I get stuck on stupid folk. Stuck on stupid folk. Yes. Yeah. Stuck. What does that mean? Stuck on. Like stuck on stupid. You can't get right. You're stuck on stupid. Okay, you're stuck on the. All right, sorry. I appreciate the translation. Oh, that's the problem.
Listen to ignorant people.
He means to say ignorant.
He's code switching.
Right, but ignorant is that code for ignorant?
Yeah. I mean, what he's doing is now I'm code switching out of professional Roland to talk to the dumb black people. So I need to,
the dumb black people stuck on stupid.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Who call women bed wenches.
Hold on. Bed wenches or bad wenches?
Bed wenches. So this is a term going back to slavery days. It's kind of like the same term as concubine. And a really toxic group inside the male. I'm not making any apologies for them. They like to call women that kiss up to white men or the white power structure as bed wenches.
Okay.
It's no place for that. You know, we can have dialogue without being disrespectful.
Absolutely. But thank you again.
Who are telling you fools not to vote. And they all hollering tangibles.
You say howling or hollering?
Hollering
tangible.
He said hollering, but
it's
what
hollering.
I'm saying is,
no, I get you. I
want to make this clear for the listeners.
Mm-hmm.
This is how he feels he has to talk to black people.
Well, it's working because the white man is having a hard time understanding this code. I mean, obviously, I get the gist of it, but I think it's interesting. Thank you, because, wow, that's really interesting. I mean, it would be great if Hillary Clinton could do it this good, wouldn't it? If she could do
might
that.
Be president.
Right.
And what we gonna get for all you simpleton SOBs.
Wow.
Not SOB.
For all of you simple Simons. For all of you folk who are stuck on stupid. And I know Cleo Monaga was here. He was a Roland. Don't call them names. But if your dumb ass is advocating not voting, that's exactly what they want you to do. Because Donald Trump stood before the microphones and said, "Thank you, black people, for not voting. Y'all helped me."
Now, if I could give Roland Martin some advice, I would do all my shows like this. This is vibrant. This is something to listen to. This confuses the white man to think he's hearing a preacher. Roland Martin, he should do this full time. It's good for our show too, Mo.
Yeah, it is.
Very good for our show.
But
what a tool.
So basically, what he's saying to me. Because that's who he's talking to me.
Yep.
Directly.
Yep.
You're not voting, or
stuck on
or
stupid.
even worse.
You're stuck on stupid.
I'm stuck on stupid. And if you're not voting, you really actually vote for Trump. I know, Roland. I know. It's like, hey, Trump will do you this solid. Now, when it comes back around, if you do what you say you need to do, not only will I take one off the board for the other side, I will put one on the board for you. We know, we get this, Roland. We're not stuck on stupid.
Okay.
You're the one that's dumb enough not to realize we don't know what we're talking about.
About the word stupid for a moment. I said it to him personally, but publicly I apologized to Hotep Jesus for calling him stupid. I regret it, saying it to another man in general. But what I really meant, and so I want to make good on it, is that wasn't that I disagreed with something he said, and it just made no sense to call him stupid. He took his exception to that. And is there an extra element for a black man to be called stupid by a white man? Of course,
yeah.
Okay, because that was I totally didn't think about it that way.
I know. What I'm saying is this: it's kind of like if you say to a black person, "Can't you read?" No, because I had a guy say that to me one time. It was a sign like poorly placed, and he was a security guard, and it was self-explanatory, the sign, but I just didn't see it. And I asked him the question that the sign answered, and he kind of got snippy, was like, "Can't you read?" And it took me to another place. So it is the.
So I appreciate one. I appreciate Hotep calling me on it in an appropriate measure. He didn't go overboard.
Coming for your neck was the exact word.
Well, he texted me that. He texted me that, and I said, "What does that mean, Mo? Is he going to cut me up?" And he said, "No, he's going to be harsh." Okay, but his harshness was appropriate and not hostile. It was appropriate, not hostile, and I appreciate you for not running interference. I appreciate that too.
I want people to understand. let me be clear.
It's an important moment. It's a very important moment in my life, and I think yours too.
I don't speak for Adam. Adam doesn't speak for me. If you have a problem with what Adam says, you can find him on social media or email. If you have a problem with what I say, bring it up to me. And we don't speak for each other. That's not what we do. I just want to make that point. But yeah, this whole thing with Roland and stupid and no, hold on. One point I want to bring up. SOB. What happened when Trump called
said
people?
But he has a black card. He has credentials. He can do that.
No, but he's calling black women the B word.
Oh yeah, that's one level. That's upping Trump. That's pretty good.
No, because that's who he's talking to. The black voter that won't vote.
You're right.
So when he says stupid SOB, should we take it the same way as Trump said it? I'm just going to bring up that point.
Of course. Well,
so now you hear and now you see how they feel about people that choose to exercise or not exercise. Their not voting is. All you have, and I'll say this one thing, and we can get to the next clip. The only responsibility you have is to be engaged, which I am engaged. Mm-hmm. I am aware of what's going on in politics, and my decision is based off of my awareness. It's not like I'm ignorant and just don't know what's going on and just
You're not stuck on stupid?
Yeah, I'm not stuck on stupid. I know what I'm doing here, and a lot of other black men are smart and understand what they're doing. It's like, no, and I'll explain this one more time. What we need to have is the lowest voter turnout in history, because that signals to both parties we're in play.
Yeah.
And they got to come with their best. So no, we're not stupid. But moving on, this is another clip from the Hot 97 interview, and this clip is with Peter Rosenberg, and he kind of crosses Ice Cube in a way.
Cube, I would say this is probably the part where people get the most concerned, is that for many people, we feel that the rhetoric and the decisions that have been made by the Trump administration over the last 4 years put them in a category of alignment with racism and white supremacy that is so in a different world that out of that conversation of we know there's white supremacy on both sides feels like a bit of a cop-out, in the sense that we know this Trump administration, we know exactly
how is the truth a cop-out? I mean, it's the truth. And if you can show me that it's not the truth, let me know. But it's not a cop-out. It's the reality of the situation we find ourselves in. And if we are blind to that, we'll continue to find ourselves in it.
But you don't think it's false equivalency?
Every person has to make their own decision when they walk in that booth. You know, Ice Cube can't make it for him. Hot 97 can't make it for him, or anybody else. Everybody got to make their own decision, and they got to take all the information that they have gathered, the true facts, and then make that decision. And so I'm the one who's not telling you where to vote. So people shouldn't be skeptical of what I'm saying, because I'm not telling you where to vote.
Yeah. Gosh.
And that's the smartest thing Ice Cube did, was stay neutral.
Yep, very good.
To say, you know what? I'm not repping for this campaign. I'm on this campaign. I'm not repping for this campaign. I'm in the middle. I'm entertaining all offers. Anybody that wants to make suggestions, I'm open to that. But Rosenberg, now we have to say Rosenberg, he is a Jewish man. Mm-hmm. And it's amazing how these people can come talk to black people and say, oh, well, I think that's a cop-out when you say this about white supremacy. So let me get this straight. And I'm just going to run down some of the accomplishments that Donald Trump has done for the Jewish community. Let's see. Recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital.
Yeah, that's
open the U.S. embassy.
Right there should be enough. That should be enough for one session.
I'm just going to do the top 5. Open U.S. embassy in Jerusalem. Recognize Israel's sovereignty of Golan. Withdrew corrupted in UNESOC and another acronym, blah, blah, blah. And it says
UNESCO.
Taylor, UNESCO, and it's another one. And then pass Taylor Act to end pay to slay. So does Rosenberg go back to his people of his lineage and say,
well, hold on. Now you understand that in general, I'm generalizing.
Yes.
And with most of people I know who are Jewish American, do not consider themselves white. Be very clear.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm not saying that.
Yeah. No, I know. I want everyone to understand that.
Right.
So he in a way, he comes from, hey, I'm on your side.
No, but what I'm saying is this. The same way he's disappointed in Ice Cube with negotiating with Donald Trump for Ice Cube to try to get some kind of action from a political figure.
Meanwhile, he's getting all kinds of stuff if he cares about it.
Right, that benefits his group. Now, if we were to say, Rosenberg, you have the answer for your communities negotiating with Donald Trump, that's a cop-out.
Okay.
It would be now you understand what I'm saying.
But I got to stop you. We got to get real, Mo. See, I'm learning that's code. We got to get real. I watching you and Hotep, I figured it out. Okay, we got to get real now for a second.
Yes.
During your 3.5-hour conversation, from time to time, what would come up is something that the Jews get or can do or can say that is somehow not allowed for ADOS. And both of you held back on saying that. You did not mention exactly what group you were talking about. Is that such a taboo?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
They can get you up out of here for that. I mean,
they can what?
They can get you up out of here, especially on his platform. It's not that if we were having a conversation here, just like now we're having a conversation.
That's why I'm asking you here, obviously.
Right, but on his platform, it being on
YouTube,
on YouTube, that can the algorithm will get you in a lot of trouble.
Oh, it's really the algo, huh? So you got it.
Yes,
the jalgo.
Yes. So I wanted to respect I don't have a problem saying that's why I laid out the things that Rosenberg and Ari, the same thing. It's like they can condemn black people for negotiating with a quote unquote white supremacist like Donald Trump.
I just want that to be really, really clear to to all the producers out there that both of you were completely open and honest and unedited. But that came up, filters came on. That's
because of where we were having the conversation.
I understand.
Not because of
the conversation, because of where you're having it.
Exactly.
That on one hand, first of all, makes me very happy. I'm doing work on podcastindex.org because we need to be able. This conversation needs to be had no matter what. Doesn't matter where you stand.
And that's the point I was bringing up about black cyberspace.
Yes,
where conversations can be had unfiltered, unnudged, and the algos steer the conversation. Let's be clear. And if you cross certain boundaries, and that's just not for that boundary, but there's certain things, just like if you said anything about COVID,
same thing. Yes, I know.
They're going so far now to even Joe Biden's fracking. The actual quotes.
You can't show the quotes anymore?
No, it'll give you a warning saying, "Oh, this is not true," or "This is misleading."
I got my first one of that the other day. I posted the animated No Agenda, and I know what the trigger words were very fine people, because it was that bit we did, which is hilarious, by the way. It's a very funny video, and James Jennifer did a great job on putting that together. But I posted that right away. If you wanted to comment on it, was maybe controversial topic. Caution, proceed if you're over 18. All of this stuff.
Yeah.
And so they just put these terms in, and then I'm sure the algo was also affected. The stuff you don't see.
And can I make a quick? I just want to make this is why value for value is so important, because I don't take YouTube money. I don't take any money from YouTube. I just use YouTube for to spread the word kind of thing.
It's a channel.
And it's an easier way for people to share, because it's like, copy this. I mean, people, if they see YouTube, they're more likely to open it.
I'm going to fix that too in podcasting 2.0. Don't worry, I'm going to fix it all.
I can't wait till you do. But yeah, but I don't take cash from YouTube. That way I'm not.
No, you're not beholden to them. You're not beholden to them.
Because subconsciously, you'll start to edit yourself. Yep. And I knew, like, the fact that, you know, some people are monetized on YouTube. I didn't want to do anything that would be rude when I'm in somebody else's house.
Yeah.
You know, I want to be a good guest.
That's a good point.
So I wanted to respect, but no, I would completely unfiltered. Now back to this conversation. Now, we're supposed to be allies, the Jews and the blacks. Why is it that they can say, oh, Ice Cube, that's a cop-out, but we talk about how y'all are negotiating for your lineage, and if we call that out, it's anti-Semitic.
Yep, that's right.
Don't let that be lost on, and that's where, now that feeds back into why you heard Nick Cannon and Deshaun Jackson and many others start to post these things like, hey, this is not a fair alliance here. This thing is totally lopsided. Okay, so we're moving on. So Ice Cube was summoned by the Queens. And that was the cocktail queens over at Fox Soul. He's actually talking to Selena Johnson in this clip.
Do you think, and what could be the process of, once we get this money, of implementing it properly into our communities and really being able to allocate it where it makes sense and matters, and what's going to be necessary for that to happen?
Well, you know, what I said on the show about the Million Man March was the fact that it was the Million Man March, but it was a day of atonement. It was a day where we were gonna bury the hatchet with each other. It was the day when we were supposed to go back to our neighborhood kind of as new people and try to, you know, make things better. And, you know, it just didn't happen the way, you know, we all envisioned it. But that don't mean we can't start. You know, we do need financial help in our communities, but we also gotta make a commitment to ourselves to clean up ourselves. You know, it do start with the person in the mirror.
Wow, I forgot about that. The Million Man March. I think, didn't they flip on the weather machine and it was raining? It was really horrible. There was a lot of problems with it, but I think the weather was just atrocious, if I recall.
Yeah, it was wet. And this is October 16th, 1995. I was 15 years old. My two older brothers went, but my mom wouldn't let me go. And that's one of those things that just like, I wish I could have.
Wish you'd have been there.
Man, I mean, that's, you know, just one of those things that I wish I could have took part in. But the key word, if you listen to there, was atonement.
Yes.
Now, the atonement that Ice Cube was talking about and Minister Louis Farrakhan was talking about was about atonement between the black man and the black woman.
Right.
We know we done some messed up stuff. We haven't been as good as we can, but after this day, we're going back to the communities and clean things up. So I actually was doing a show or building a show on the Million Man March.
Oh.
And this show kind of bumped it out because we're at the 25th anniversary. We just passed on on the 16th.
Did anyone celebrate that?
No. Black men? Are you crazy?
Man, I think the 16th. I think that was the Country Music Awards on the 16th.
Yeah. So, but that goes to show you where we're at. Yeah. That 25th anniversary.
That's
you don't
something
get
real.
nothing.
Hey, you didn't tell me either. I would have said something.
Well, we're going to talk about it now because, like I said, I was building a show on this, and a few weeks back, that's when I came in with the atonement thing because I was like, the way in this next clip, it's kind of long, it's about 140, but Minister Louis Farrakhan was speaking about atonement. And I remember at the time the atonement thing, but it kind of fell to the back of my mind. But when I reheard the speech that he gave in 95, this is where I said, hey, we need to shift from reparations to atonement because it's about the people that need to atone, not the people that need to be repaired. And if that goes up feeding into Trump's narcissism, if we say to him, atone. No, don't repair us, you atone yourself. Exactly. Then it becomes another conversation. Then you don't have that natural gag reflex from that's built up over many, many years when you hear reparation and hear welfare. That's basically what people hear when they hear reparations, is some form of welfare or
right.
or or cash giveaway.
I'm gonna tonight after the show, we're hanging out having drinks with the former New York banker, his wife, and some other friends or they're friends of theirs who we know, and of course all white. I'm gonna roll out the atonement thing, see how it works on them.
Yeah.
And these are real Democrats, like super duper, super liberal Democrats. So, and politics always comes up, and I'm gonna use atonement instead of reparations, and I'll report back.
Please, give it a test run to see how it goes.
I'm curious. If you don't hear from me, you know how it went.
So, this gave me the on-ramp to bring the Million Man March into this episode. And it was like perfect. Adam, like I always say this, it's amazing how these things fall into place. This show was supposed to be about Million Man March. Now you have Ice Cube using the word atonement. And it's like, wait a minute. This like Lego. It's like, fits perfectly.
Well, this is called synchronicity, and it's the universe talking to us, Mo. All we got to do is listen.
Pay attention. So let's get into the 1995 Million Man March.
See, when he feels sorry, deep down inside, he's going to make a change. That man has a change in his mind. That man has a change in his heart. His soul has been unburdened and released from the pain of that sin. But you got to go one step further. Because after you've acknowledged it, confessed it, repented, you come to the fifth stage. Now you got to do something about it. Now look, brothers, sisters, some people don't mind confessing. Some people don't mind making some slight repentance. But when it comes to doing something about the evil that we've done, we fall short. But atonement means satisfaction or reparation for a wrong or injury. It means to make amends. It means penance, expiation, compensation, and recompense made or done for an injury or wrong. So atonement means we must be willing to do something in expiation of our sins. So we can't just have a good time today and say we made history in Washington. We got to resolve today that we're going back home to do something about what's going on in our lives and in our families and in our communities. Now.
Wow. Let me read from the Merriam-Webster dictionary, which, as we know, is the wokest dictionary in the universe, because they changed the word sexual preference to an offensive term overnight. So whatever they say is the woke deal. Definition of atonement: reparation for an offense or injury, satisfaction. This is a great word. It has it all in there. It's fantastic. Yeah. It's perfect. It is perfect. Perfect.
So 1995. Let me say one thing before I get into that. Just the clip.
I'm sorry. Can I just add one more thing?
Please.
It's super because if anyone, speaking as a white man, if someone says, "Do you atone for what your country, what your ancestors, whatever it is, what they did to ADOS?" I actually feel it. And if I would say, "I don't like atonement," then I'm an asshole. And I have no problem, because if you feel it, I feel it's like, yeah, okay. But I don't want to have
It's not about the person. It's not about the person. It's about the nation. It's do you want your nation to have this burden?
Of course. You want to get rid of it.
Right. Now, I want to make one statement to go back a little bit where we're talking about platforms. We all know why Minister Louis Farrakhan got kicked off of Facebook and all the socials. The same conversation.
Yeah.
So just let that be known. They will get you up out of here.
Okay. But I just want to say one last thing. Mm-hmm. Atonement can only be once, and it has to be proper.
Yes.
Whereas reparations has been going on for decades, and and it's all bullcrap. None of it landed, none of it worked. It never hit the mark. So atonement has to be so clear that once and for all, everybody says, we atone.
It's from the person. It's not from the person that needs to be repaired. It's from the person that actually wants to do the work.
Exactly.
Of first you have to acknowledge, then confess it, then repent. And we've done these things in America, right? We acknowledge, okay, that was wrong.
Yep.
We've confessed it. We had a bunch of states come out and say, we did do it. Mm-hmm. And then they even repented by saying these apologies. Mm-hmm. It's like, we apologize that we did some screwed up stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they want to stop there. It's like, no, you can't stop there. If you really mean what you put on paper, and that goes to, that's exhibit A when you get ready to make the legal case of these states apologized for what they did, and they acknowledged it and confessed and repented. So now let's get to the atonement portion. And when you get to the atonement portion, it has real impact.
Yeah.
And don't take my word for it. Don't take Farrakhan's word for it. Marianne Williamson.
This is part of the dark underbelly of American society. The racism, the bigotry, and the entire conversation that we're having here tonight. If you think any of this wonkiness is going to deal with this dark psychic force of the collectivized hatred that this president is bringing up in this country, then I'm afraid that the Democrats are going to see some very dark days. And the underlying cause has to do with deep, deep, deep realms of racial injustice, both in our criminal justice system and in our economic system. And the Democratic Party should be on the side of reparations for slavery for this very reason.
You have been at the forefront of the discussion of reparation. We're almost out of time. Can you just give me a 2-second?
Yes, I want to make America whole. And a country is like an individual. You can't have the future you want until you clean up the past.
And as you would say, they're about to get her on up out of here.
Oh, yeah, 2 seconds. We got 2 seconds. What's your thoughts on reparations? Oh, yeah, we're rapping.
That's funny.
But she hit it right on the head. Dark psychic forces.
Yeah.
What America really feels now is the hangover of racism called guilt.
Yeah.
And it's when you wrong somebody and they bring up something around that wronging, how you wronged them, then it's, why you got to bring that up all the time? Until you really atone, apologize, confess, repent, and then atone, then it's like, hey,
it's not
I thought we were over that. Now you can push it back over and say, I thought we were over that. I thought we were past that. And we have these in our personal relationships, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you say something that hurts somebody's feelings and you really come back, I'm sorry, babe. I'm sorry. I didn't really mean it like that, And she's like, yeah. But then you go and buy flowers or whatever. It's like, okay, that action showed that it was really on his mind. It's not just lip service. Right, I'm super simplifying it, but when you hold that guilt in, it's not it's really the person holding the guilt that has the negative response to it, because to ask to be repaired is not like a outlandish thing, but as a country, it's why you got to bring that up for? I thought we was over it, kind of thing. So, so I guess we can get into the second part of this Marianne Williamson clip.
And I also like you because you want to give $100 million in reparations.
No more than that.
To black people, more than that.
200 to 500 is the number that I sort of landed on.
Woo!
I think that if you look at the historical arc of race relations between whites and blacks in America, I think, I don't believe that the average American is racist. I don't. But I do think the average American is vastly undereducated or underinformed about the history of race in America. For every slave family of 4, they were to be given 40 acres, and a mule. Politics is usually a conversation that is so disconnected from emotion, so disconnected from heart, so disconnected from our deeper human reality that given that, no wonder it became so easy for that political system to separate us from our wisdom. Germany has given $89 billion in reparations to Jewish organizations since the Holocaust. And I believe that that $89 billion has gone far towards establishing reconciliation between Germany and the Jews of Germany and the rest of Europe. Reparations carries an emotional and psychological and even spiritual force.
It does. And we may have talked about this back in the day. I know several people who receive still receive reparations in Europe, and I think they feel like that's, you know, like there's been atonement. And I know the Germans, certainly the Germans of this generation, although it's reparations, I think if someone needs to let them off the hook eventually, like, you've atoned, because it hurts them. I think that it still, even though reparations are paid, the atonement part I don't think was ever really there. If that makes any sense.
But because guilt kills.
Yeah, it does. It does. It's very toxic. Very, very toxic.
It's very toxic. And as she said, reparation carries an emotional, psychic, and spiritual force. And I believe that, and that's forgiveness. You can't get to real forgiveness until you get to the point where, you know, you went that step to, like, materialize what your feelings is. And that's really what atonement is. But as she said, she doesn't think most people are racist in America. They're undereducated and underinformed. So this is why this podcast works, because we help to educate and inform.
Yes. Most people are underinformed and over-socialized, to be exact. And we figured out something that Malcolm X figured out a long time before we were even around.
First, the white man and the black man have to be able to sit down at the same table. The white man has to feel free to speak his mind without hurting the feelings of that Negro. And the so-called Negro has to feel free to speak his mind without hurting the feelings of the white man. Then they can bring the issues that are under the rug out on top of the table and take an intelligent approach to get the problem solved. That's the only way that they'll ever do it.
And we're doing the work, everybody. And as you've heard several times throughout the program so far, we cannot do this in any traditional manner. We can't do it with commercial money, certainly not with advertisers. We can't even, this is not something that would ever exist. You heard it, the algos, if it were YouTube only. So we've taken it all upon ourselves. We do the work, we do it ourselves, and we have fantastic producers. And when we talk about value for value, the value that we give you, that you're feeling, which only you know, in each individual who listens to the show can determine how valuable it is. Bringing that value back to us is monetary, of course, is what we always need. But we look at the time, your talent, your treasure. So many people are propagating the formula about the show and turning people onto it. I see you all on Twitter and on No Agenda Social, and I know it's all over YouTube with stuff that Moe's reaching out. That's also really incredibly important. And when it comes to money, that value is up to you, and we value it just as much as any amount, because we know that you're giving what you find the show to be worth. And we like to thank our producers, and we start off with our executive producers and associate executive producers. These are real titles, in case you care about them, but they do matter to a lot of people. And you are producers, particularly when you see some of the notes that are associated with the donations today. And we start off with, is this Mav Senior? Do we know Mav Senior, Mo?
I think this is the first time I think he showed up. If not, I apologize. But
okay,
I think this is the first.
$500, which is an incredible gift. And, that's some true value coming our way. We appreciate it. Let me read this note. Mo and Adam, first off, thank you, Adam, for providing Mo with this platform to reach us all. Mo, thank you for allowing me to see the truth about our culture and history that's been kept under wraps by the malevolent, and self-serving for way too long. I am one of the many on the Ronimo path. And it's no accident that our ranks are deep. While I can't speak for the rest, I began listening to Rogan years ago, enthralled by the topics, people, and discussions he covered, and of which I was ignorant and not getting anywhere else. Thankfully, last March, when Adam was one of Joe's many great guests, I became curious about this value-for-value system he spoke of, and intrigued by the community of producers he touted. I quickly fell into the fold and have been listening to No Agenda since. Hearing Adam reference Moe and the topic of the show piqued my interest. But it took the horrible death of George Floyd to start my journey down this rabbit hole. It only seemed appropriate to hear an ADOS man's side of the situation. I've since listened religiously to both shows, and both have added so much to my life, more than words can tell. I spent many hours contemplating what my definition of value was. I was beginning to formulate a number for No Agenda, but hadn't quite made the leap and remain a douchebag to this day. Sorry, Adam. No problem. After listening to episode 50 and hearing you tie it all together so seamlessly, it hit me like a thunderbolt that this one episode, in and of itself, was worth more than I could afford. That said, I recently made some money trading around in Bitcoin. Go Bitcoin! Albeit without the help of John C. Dvorak's Zephyr report. Hey, that's right. I do give you the numbers, though. As I sit here and look at my profits generated by pure speculation, gains realized in a capitalistic free market, I feel it is only fair to donate a significant amount of it to the shows. Man. And since handing money to two successful, well-off, middle-aged white men seems counterproductive, here's your Venmo, Mo. I'm sure Adam and John won't mind if I gave Moe Factz their share as well. No, of course. And he says, consider it my atonement for my part in this culture I was born into and that has shaped me and the world we live in. Just as I would pay the survivors of genocide if I moved to Germany. And while I'm not required to, I am volunteering some good old U.S. dollars to contribute to your cause, which I now believe in. Please find a $500 donation from me via the Cash App, and thanks for all you do and have done. I don't really keep track of the levels of producers at either show, so I don't know what would make me, but regardless, I'm honored to be part. More importantly, I'm honored to know that you are out there as fellow Americans whose family values are so well aligned with mine, despite our roots being on opposite continents. At the end of the day, we are all one human family. I truly believe that this show has the ability to fill that void between the sides in this conversation and bring us together to realize we need to understand the past to improve the present and leave a better future for our children. So thanks again to both of you. Keep up the great work. Wow. Nice. I got cottonmouth. I got cottonmouth from that. Thank you. No, that's beautiful. And yeah, we got to work on levels. And, I got Mo to finally, kind of do the show once in a while. Now I got to work on the back office with him. We're going to get there. We're going to get there.
No, we got something. And we have something
we got
under the wraps.
We got administrative stuff to take care of. That's it's going to go out of control. I know we got something under the wraps that is so cool. But it's going to go out of control, so I'm not going to let Mo do it until we get the admin straightened out.
Exactly.
It's all right. I'm taking charge. And it's Tina's up my butt about it. Said you guys got to figure out your admin. All right, she's so right.
We're doing the work.
We are. We're just doing the work full time.
We're busy doing the work.
$125 from Scott Pancake. Now I looked for an email from.
I did too.
I did not see it. So Scott. Please email us again so we can do that on the next show if there's something that you want to communicate.
Have a make good at top of the list like we always do. Yeah,
we appreciate it. Derek J. Fisher did not send a note, but did send us $100. Thank you. As did David Drake, who says, Professor Mo, 20 minutes in episode 51 when you talked about the FHA, I lost my mind. How are you not angry and pissed off knowing this? I am, and I'm cisgendered white male, the required ID these days, in his 50s, as is your cohort, Brother Adam. Last I wrote, I was doing the work reading the Malcolm X biography. Now I'm reading Tupac's?
Yeah, Tupac.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Again, doing the work my way. But what you teach me goes beyond anything I would ever learn on my own. Thank you. And a woosah, please. Yes, you betcha. I love that. Thanks, David. Adam Choi, also a Hyundai for the show. Dear Mo and Adam, Rona Mo cult member here. I studied architecture in college, and I've been really enjoying the past 2 episodes in regards to urbanization and urban development. In ARC school, we had studio class on housing, where we learned about the modernist ideals of the future of housing in the 30s and 40s, which not only led to the failed projects of Pruitt what is this? Pruitt-Ago and Cabrini Green. Yeah. We did talk about those projects. Pruitt-Ago.
When they were doing the searches. Yeah.
But also Levittown, which became the prototype for the modern suburb. My professor told me that often when large upscale apartment buildings or large upscale neighborhood projects are being developed, a few units in the projects are often allocated for low-income families as a charitable goodwill and to help in the city approval process. The issue is that it's Band-Aid solution to a systematic problem as addressed on episode 51. If you're given a home in an upscale suburban neighborhood but don't have the means to support the auxiliary costs, lawn and pool upkeep, etc., you can go into debt just to keep up appearances, not to mention that, as Moe and Adam said, everyone else is way richer than you and all of the problems that follow with that. Kind of awkward when your 20-year-old beater car breaks down at the security gate and all the people in the new German cars give you the side eye as they drive around you. This leads to a phenomenon observed by my professor and others on the inside, in which there's a reluctance for low-income families to accept this charity and move into these units despite it being a luxury unit and considered a move up, at least in the suburban neighborhood developments. Wanted to share that inside baseball from the perspective of upscale housing development and a socio-economic lens that aligns with what Moe was saying about integration and tokenism in episode 51. Sorry if all my notes are long. This show is so bleeping thought-provoking. If not discussed already, Moe, any updates and thoughts on the Kanye Wash Us in Blood drama?
Yeah, I finally found it. It's full of symbolism, and I think we're going to have to... I was waiting on the drop today, so to go back into Kanye. So we may have some...
It's on deck. It's on the list. It's on deck. Yes. And he finishes. And what's this, Adam? Trying to fight no Moe integration on my last Pelosi Trump karma request? Fine. I don't know what he's talking about. For the Moe I know, I get it. We were talking about the jobs jingle. Okay, so for a Moe Factz exclusive jingle, can I get Moe yelling jobs 6 times and with a different emphasis each time? Thanks, I appreciate this show. Keep doing the work. He's basically asking you to dance, Moe.
I can't do it. But I will wish you all kind of jobs, karma for you, and can we give him a Moe karma?
Yeah, we're giving him a Moe karma, you bet.
You've got
Moe karma.
And we move onward to Jimmy James. $100. Jimmy James wanted to give you a crisp new money, honey, as he says. Amazing work as of late, and I honestly feel like you could run for office on that civil action platform alone. At least you would have gotten my vote. Regardless, thank you for all you do. Episode idea potentially, or a curiosity of mine ever since you said it almost in passing, something about Trump and Kanye using the serpent energy or something, and the reason why they like each other. I have never heard of that, but realized that God, our great creator, made many things to include potentially a king for every kingdom. 5 thrones, I think. Like the animal and the serpent kingdom. And is that where this power is drawn? It just sounds super interesting, and I love other perspectives on my spirituality / supernatural things, because I believe God just works in mysterious ways that I may never understand in my lifetime. I don't know if it's too spiritual of a conversation or not for the show, but again, I truly feel this is part of God's plan for you, Moe, and you are truly doing the work. So wherever your gut, intuition, Holy Spirit guides you, I'm along for this journey. It has changed my life in a significant way, and I'm along for the ride wherever it may go, Moe.
Not to make I'll take the last things first. Not to make myself feel over important, but as we were talking about before, the way these things fall into place, I'm working on shows and then other things just pop up out of nowhere. It's like, wow. I mean, I just can't believe it. So I feel like I'm on a path. Now, the serpent energy, the serpent is a very interesting animal in symbolism because it can symbolize bad things, but then also, and the Bible would say to be wise as serpent and gentle as dove. So it has a double meaning to it. I think that serpent energy they're talking about is just that energy of being like wise but forceful and strong. So that's what I'm taking away from it.
I call it the universe. You can call it God. I may call it God too, actually.
That's fine. I mean,
yeah,
it is your choice. What you want to call it?
I don't know. You know, this show And many of the people who have reached out to me over the years have given me a lot to think about. Given me a lot to think about. Uncle Richard is our number one fan. We know that. He's really your number one fan, Mo. We know what's going on. Uncle Richard.
He's the show's only fan. Everybody else is producers.
That's
He's
right.
the only fan.
That's right. Uncle Richard is allowed to be our fan. But he will be an executive producer as well, whether he likes it or not. You can't get rid of that title, Uncle Richard. That's just it's a fact. Sorry. You're stuck with it. He's stuck
and there would be no Moe Factz if it wasn't for Uncle Richard, because he constantly told me, pay attention. So
that's great. I can't wait to meet him.
Love him to life.
Can't wait to meet him. Donald Norton checks in with 7252. This is a great number. I have no idea why. No note.
I wish it was a note. Displaying that number.
I wonder if he's from Australia, maybe, and he sent us $10,000. I kid because we love you. Donald, send us a note if there's anything we need to follow up on. Alexander Salzberger with a wink with the 69.69. We know that he needs some getting laid, Woosa. I understand this code. And then we have Maxine Waters Gravel, famous from the No Agenda show. A donation in memory of my cousin Mikey, $68.68. And we're sorry if we lost cousin Mikey, Maxine Waters Gravel. And we appreciate the memoriam here on the show.
And our condolences.
Yeah, of course. Adrian Zaba, $55.46. Thanks, Moe Factz. Remember, we're the number 1%. We are the 1% of the world. Who is the 1% of the world?
I'm not sure.
But thank you. I want to be in the club.
maybe the one that are brave enough to speak up.
I think that's the way I take it, too.
Yeah, you were bringing that point up that people are just afraid to say anything. I get it, but it's not going to get any better until you speak up and say something.
Straight up. Another fan favorite, DH Slam of the God with $52. Thank you, DH Slam of the God. John Taylor, $52. These are episode producers, of course. You get a special credit for donating the amount of the episode. So DH Slam of the God and John Taylor have succeeded in doing that. Kevin Landry, $50. Associate Executive Producership for you, Kevin. And Kevin writes, thank you so much for all the time and effort you put into your shows. Spoon feeding us such a significant amount of knowledge with every passing minute. Mo, you are truly a rare man, and I'm glad to have met you through this podcast. Adam, what can I say about what you bring to the show besides, well, thanks for introducing us to Mo.
Nah.
He says, ha. It's okay.
Yeah, I know.
Looking forward to the next 50 shows. Oh, and Mo, how's the new dog going? Yes.
Morocco is getting big.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Has he had any dates yet?
Not yet. He's not old enough yet. He's about to go off to obedience school soon.
He's going to have the talk.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's a well-trained dog.
Yeah.
And I can't man, beautiful. He's a beautiful animal.
Now, do they teach me in obedience school how to have a date? Or how to behave during a date?
No. We don't actually do dates. It's a medical process now.
Oh, that's so unfair.
Hey man, it ain't on my side. I mean, it can go wrong. It can go wrong real fast.
Wow, that kind of sucks. Okay, so you have like the special Rocco's friend comes over and
and take us to the vet.
All right. I'm learning so much. Thank you very much, Kevin.
Me too.
Chris Meyer, $50. Thank you both for all your work and the outstanding product. Go podcasting. Please see email from, for Jingle ISO offering. Did we get one? Did we get?
I saw the jingles. I didn't have a chance to work them into this show, but we will.
Okay. Yes, I didn't see that either, so we'll get it for you.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Oh, and he wants requested D Deadbeat and a Mo Karma. Well, of course.
Congratulations. You're no longer a deadbeat.
you've got
Mo Comer.
Oh, and a goat. There we go. I met Dame Jennifer, you just heard there.
Oh, really?
In Vegas, really? Yeah, at the No Agenda Vegas meetup, the Super Spreader event.
Well, you can't tell me, though.
What do you mean?
Because what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
It was great seeing her. It really was. She's exactly what you expect her to be, only much better looking than her pictures.
I will say this, and it's a weird, I know she's a Southern lady.
Mm-hmm.
She reminds me of one of my aunts. Just
really?
And I don't know her. I mean, but just her, it's something about Southern women that they have this.
Midwestern and Southern women, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, she's all that. Definitely. And she's a big help on the show.
Yes, she is.
Our next associate executive producer, Joseph Steelman, $50. Adam captured me on Rogan with the Malcolm X quote. Went to see what Moe Factz was all about, and I'm damn glad I did. Your respect for each other's viewpoint is commendable. I'll keep doing the work on my end, and hopefully together we can make our world 1% better for all of us. Peace and love to you and Adam both. A hillbilly from the Ozarks. Thank you, Joseph. Shane Den-Herder, $50, no note. Timothy Pascriello, thanks for doing the work, and $50. Greg Oleksiak, 3333, magic numbers there. Great work, he says. Brian Massey, we know Brian Massey, $33.33. Mo and Adam, thank you so much for doing the work and letting us all listen in. What a public service. Can I get a biscuit for my 33rd birthday, which was this past Tuesday on 10/30? Oh, so it's coming up. Yeah. And he wants a woosah. Yeah, of course we got that.
They always give me a biscuit on my birthday.
Oh, here we go. There you go. Jean or Jean, probably Jean Morency, $30. Joe Mo just finished the Hotep show. You did a great job. Kid, you held it down, my G. There's where I can read this. Kid, you held it down, my G. There's parts where you clearly see he noticed your point, but still had to go left, which made it even more better. And Adam, you part of the fam now. I give you your first hood name, Crunk City, because when you on No Agenda, you be too live, lol. I can't wait to hear Adam read this bike.
Very well.
I mean, I try not to do too much accent and stuff there.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
I can read it. Crunk City, is that me? I like it. Is that my hood name? Crunk City?
I don't know. I'm gonna say this. First rule about nicknames.
Yeah.
You can't be given a nickname. You have to
earn a nickname. Earn a nickname.
Yes.
Well, he says because when you on No Agenda, you be too live.
Yeah.
Did I earn it with that? Whatever I did there.
I don't know. that's for JM. I think. On social media, yeah, he's always interactive on the social media with
Excellent.
me.
Excellent. Yeah. All right, man. Thanks. Spivey, $30, no note. Thank you very much. Daniel Fletcher.
Wait a minute. I always have to acknowledge this. Spivey gave me my first donation. I always have to say that.
That's right.
Because if it wasn't for that, I might have got discouraged and got sidetracked. So Spivey will always, that's like that first dollar that you make like on a business. You always got to keep it up there.
Daniel Fletcher, $25, says, no need to announce anything. Thank you for the class. And actually, I guess Spivey came in with 2 donations because I see him here with 25. So we got to make sure we put him up in the associate executive, in the associate executive producer bracket for 55 total. And very nice to see you, Spivey. Raymond Lerma, $20. Thanks for the amazing show, guys. I had been feeling like things weren't right, and I was being brainwashed. The show has proven... Yes, you're right. You're right. The show has proven to me that there is an agenda with most of the information we are fed. Thank you, Moe Factz and Adam. Oh, my goodness. Now we have... Adam Choi comes in again with $20. Since we already read one of his notes, I'm gonna skip over this. Okay. Wait, this is weird. No, is this doubled up, Mo? Because I see because I also see
it was two separate ones. It was two
right,
separate,
but JM52 comes back in again.
They did. That's the way they did it.
Holy moly! You guys are confusing me.
And I don't know if you want to combine them because I don't want to lose number significance. So it's kind of a weird.
Yeah, I'm going to have to work on that.
Yeah.
But regardless, we have to move the show along. So I can't really read all these really, really long notes. I like it when they're somewhat long, but how long has this segment been going on? We just got to find some balance. That's all. Really appreciate it. But remember, you got to find some balance. The more people donate, so the more that can be organic, the better. So let me go to JM52. I made a friendly bet that Moe wasn't going to show his face, and I won. LOL. But I almost forgot. It's been a while since my last donation. Said, can you please undead beat me, please? But do know I'm always doing the work. I bait my white friends by mentioning Adam Crunk City Curry, LOL. By the way, Moe, this is JM52. Yeah, we got you. We got you, man. We got you.
Congratulations. You're no longer a deadbeat.
Robert Case, $20. The more I listen to you and Moe, the more I find we've similar thoughts on many topics. Thank you to you, Adam, to responding to Moe's email not too long ago and assisting on bringing Moe's words into the many other ears. Not my first donation, but I can be taken from the deadbeat list and get some karma. Also, shout out to Sir Hey Moose. Thank you.
Congratulations. You're no longer a deadbeat. You've got
Mo Comrie.
Then we have Lynette Poppy, $20. Susan, $20. Curtis Thomas, $19.87. Professors Adam and Moe. Just finished listening to all the episodes in reverse order. You guys have come a long way. Here's to many more minds expanded. Quick feedback. I came by this show through Rogan's show. Then after this show, started listening to No Agenda, which is amazing. Thomas Clan from Missouri. Thank you very much. Okay. Yeah, okay. I'll continue. Ashley Smith, $19.84. Nice numbers here today. Thank you, Moe and Adam, for helping us do the work. I live in a small town about 40 minutes north of Kansas City, Missouri. Every week, I take my 4-year-old to physical therapy for cerebral palsy in downtown Kansas City. Yesterday, we had to take a detour due to construction. As I turned the corner, in front of KCPD headquarters, there were about 20 or so tents camped out and BLM signs leaning against a statue. But it was a strange sight to see all these tents and signs. Maybe only 2 people are walking around who are protesting. I couldn't help wonder if any of these people were even from our area. As far as I know, they're attempting to make calls for defunding the police in Kansas City, but the reception seems minimal. I mean, come on, man. We're in Missouri. Just thought that was interesting. Thank you for all you do. Ashley, the millennial mom. Yeah, I think it's the same here in Austin, actually. Ashley, same stuff. Cohen Prowl. $19.31. Love you, Moe. And can I get a woosah? Betcha. Woosah. And we're rounding out the list here. Brandon M. Ellsbury, $15. Dear Moe and Adam, I have been listening since about episode 12. Y'all don't know much about y'all don't know how much your product is benefiting me. I've started going to college for air traffic control in Jacksonville, Florida, but live in northern Orlando. It's a long 2-hour drive home every Wednesday from class in the middle of the night. I truly mean this. Your product has saved me. It literally keeps me awake, keeps me thinking, keeps my brain sharp. It forces me to strain to listen. It keeps me from nodding off on I-95. It's probably very dangerous. I probably should just sleep in my car, then drive home in the morning, but that costs too much. And to top it off, I learn about topics I would never learn otherwise, which is arguably more important than my safety. Regardless, you two are amazing. You make an amazing product. Please continue to make an amazing product. There are people who both learn and survive on your product. It's an awesome experience, and I wouldn't want it any other way. Which is a lie. I wish I didn't have to drive so late at night. Might end up in the spring semester. I don't know yet. Say awesome. Also, show topic, Jackie Robinson, the Negro League. Maybe there's a rabbit hole there. Much love, Brandon in DeLand, Florida.
Can we give him a travel karma, please?
Definitely needs a travel karma for sure.
You've got.
And Mo Comrie. May I say much respect to you, Brandon. As an airman myself, I appreciate the work of ATC. I appreciate how you guide us, but how you also let us make decisions when it's crappy and will trust us. And you sound like exactly the kind of person we need in the tower or at the radar screen, because that's exactly what it takes. Incredible stamina and focus and understanding. So you're going to be great. Tell your instructor, Adam Curry said so. Crunk City.
Crunk City.
$11.
It's
sticking now. 1111 with no note from Anonymous. Keep anonymous. We will. Jason Kemp, $10. Sole Proprietor, $10. Hotep's being rude as shit to you. I was going to donate to him, but I'm not happy with the way he's speaking to you. Well, I personally disagree, Sole Proprietor, but it's your prerogative. And value is value, and you put the value where you want it. We appreciate it. Francisco,
and when you come to the table, you got to put a fence to the side. Just remember that.
That's right. Francisco Ventura, $10. Daniel Porter, 10, says blowing minds on the Mondaily. And another $5 from Sole Proprietor for Show or Sport. Anonymous, $5. Ken Thoreau, $4.44. Thank you for your courage, he says. $4.11 from Terry Keller. It's always there. No note, but we appreciate it. I know he knows we appreciate reading it. And Robert O'Donnell rounds out the list with $2.50, saying, keep up the good work, guys. And that is our list of enthusiastic supporters and long note writers. It is all our show, so I ask you as producers, try and keep it short or as relevant as possible. But man, I love reading these. We love hearing your stories, and we love how you're doing the work. Everybody, keep it up.
Yes.
If you want to support the show, please go to mofactz.com. If you want to go straight to our donation page, mofundme.com, MOEFUNDME.com. And thank you very much for your value for value in time, talent, and treasure.
Now, we get to the juicy part of the show.
as if it wasn't enough so far, ladies and gentlemen. Now the juicy part starts.
Pre-donation, we talked about the two fronts of the war. It was the generational war, because you have the new school of thought coming in, challenging the old school of thought, and the political apparatus that's there. And then we also talked about the intra-racial war that's going on for the minds and hearts of black people. Now we get to the gender war.
Mm-hmm.
And with that said, we got to go back to the Queen of Cocktails.
Why not? With the Q.
Yeah, and this is Claudia Jordan.
I care about what's in this contract with Black America for women, and it's not. We're not mentioned at all in the contract with Black America. And I want to mention.
I mean, when you mention black people, you mentioning black women. So don't count yourself out.
No, that's not true. Like administration say that when they
black people is not black women. Black women are not included in black people.
No, but that's like you saying. That's like when the president says minorities, then he's including black people. But we all know that that's not the case. Black women have specific needs that are not also being met. And we also feel that there should be some things that are specific to us and our plight as well.
Wow.
That question has been answered. Does black people include black women? And you heard some on the panel say no.
Yeah.
And this lends to the thinking that black men are the white people of black people.
As you have stated before.
They see themselves as a separate minority. And they don't feel like if you say black people, and this is new. I mean, this is not news to me, but I think this was news to Ice Cube because he was shocked. Like, I think I said black people. Let me check. Contract with Black America. Yeah, check. I didn't. But this is how they see themselves. And this is we're going to stash this clip back.
Yeah.
Because this goes to speak about what we've been saying the whole time. Now, I'll say this. Miss Claudia Jordan, I had to go and pull up her file.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, Jordan appeared on the second season of Celebrity Apprentice. In one series, celebrities raised money for a charity of choice. Jordan selected the NAPSAC, which is not a black charity. I mean, just know that.
Yeah.
She was later asked to return to compete on the all-star version of Celebrity Apprentice. And then she was hired as the apprentice host by apprentice host Donald Trump to the co-host the Miss Universe 2009 pageant.
Right.
So she's trumped up. But she acts so offended for Ice Cube to go talk to Donald Trump, and then Ice Cube even offered her. He said, "Do you want to write something for the For the,
come on in for the contract.
She's like, no, And this, I've been saying this. I caught a lot of flack behind it, not too much, but some. When I said this whole election is an ego play and I have to be clear when I say this, for the women of Black Ink.
Yeah.
And we mentioned this on show 38 with their Black women, Biden, you need Black women voters.
Vice President Biden, you need us.
Oh, yeah.
You owe us. Black women are miracle workers.
We have been saving the Democratic Party since 1965.
2020 is no different.
Your only path to victory is through Black women.
The voters who need to turn out, we know how to mobilize them. Our votes must not be taken for granted.
The following commitments will begin to show Black voters that you are serious about us.
America needs a Black woman vice president.
Candidates like Amy Klobuchar will not energize us. America needs a Black woman Supreme Court Justice.
Remember Anita Hill? We do.
America needs more in a comprehensive Black agenda.
The rules are rigged against our communities.
It's been a couple of weeks since we played that clip, but I realize it's almost like one of those advertisements for people who are experiencing schizophrenia.
Oh yeah,
and they're hearing voices when they go, "America needs black woman, president," like 5 voices at the same time. That's very, very trippy.
Even the music,
yeah.
But I didn't hear any mention of Black men.
No.
And that goes to show you the audacity of these people.
Yeah.
They think Black men are so unsophisticated that
stuck on stupid
that as long as you get Black women, we'll drag them to the polls or shame them to the polls or do whatever we got to do to get them to the polls. Because if you're only talking about Black women voting, then yeah, they voted a high rate. But if you don't have Black men going with you, that
not going to be enough. Yeah, not going to be enough.
That totally destabilized your voting block, which they didn't think we figured out.
No, they thought you just follow along as usual, dude.
Well, we have been, but it's Kanye says, it's a new day, America.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So, now they had to pull all these kind of tricks, to get the Black ink women to go to the poll. And one of them is stroll to the poll.
Yeah, Aisha, for those who are not familiar with Black Greek organizations, when you join, whether it's in college or sometime after, it's a lifetime commitment, and the work and service don't stop after graduation. That's why one woman came up with an idea to get people moving, to get people politically active, and to bring people together.
I accept your nomination for Vice President of the United States of America.
It started with a moment, the selection of California Senator Kamala Harris as a Democratic vice presidential nominee. Harris spoke of her biological family, but also of her chosen family, her sisters of Alpha Kappa Alpha, or AKA, and other historically Black Greek organizations known as the Divine Nine.
Mm-hmm. Family is my beloved Alpha Kappa Alpha, our Divine Nine, and my HBCU brothers and sisters.
Maisha Land, another member of AKA, wanted to build on that historic moment with the tradition of strolling. So what is that exactly? Members of a Divine Nine organization form a line and move forward using the same dance or motions, hence stroll to the polls.
It was only supposed to be 4 of us, right? 4 or 5 of us. It grew into over 20 women, because people were just so excited to participate.
Land owns a Gems of Georgia dance studio in Southwest Atlanta and united her own sorority sisters along with members of Delta Sigma Theta, Zeta Phi Beta, and Sigma Gamma Rho in what has become a viral series of images and videos online. People across the country, including celebrities, have shared it. It was even mentioned on The View, a reaction Land didn't expect.
Delay alert, delay alert, delay alert, delay alert, delay alert.
It's my new sound effect. I do them live.
Boule for Biden. Boule for Biden.
Hold on, let's try that one.
Boule for Joe Biden.
That's good.
And they have no shame.
Zero.
Because they were actually on stage at his campaign rallies dancing.
That's great.
And you use this term, unbeknownst that I was going to have these clips of, like, when you say dance, that's like telling a singer to sing or a comedian to tell a joke.
Yeah.
It's like dancing on command is
it's like rude.
It's very rude.
Now, were they doing the shuffle?
They were doing the stroll. They were doing
the stroll. The stroll.
On stage.
Not the slide, the stroll.
They were doing, it's that fraternity dance that they do. But
I've seen it.
It was so cringeworthy that I was like, no.
Pathetic.
Imagine Diamond and Silk and, a couple of other Trump supporters, black women dancing on stage for Donald Trump. How that would go over. And this is what made these people completely disingenuous. Like, now, if that was on the other side, how it would be, portrayed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But no, for Biden, we got to get him to the polls. We got to stroll, girls, stroll.
Crazy.
It's sick is what it ain't crazy. It's sick. It's a
syndrome. It's a syndrome.
Yeah, it is. And I'm glad you said that word, syndrome. Mm-hmm. It's woke apnea. That's exactly what it is. Because
wait, what did you call it?
Woke apnea.
Woke apnea.
Like sleep apnea.
Woke apnea.
Same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because they sink so far into wokeism, they even lose what they know or big knows. Like dancing on stage. No, that you just don't do that. Or the way they talk to their own kind, like Roland Martin was doing. Oh, you're stupid. You're ignorant. Like, at least call me ignorant. At least have that much respect for me.
There's something very ironic about a black man calling another black man ignorant. It's the epitome of ignorance.
Stuck on stupid. SOB.
Yeah.
Like, you calling my mama a B?
Yeah.
Like, Roland, we're going to have to take this outside. That kind of thing. But they get so deep in the wokeness.
Yeah, they lose it.
And the quote unquote blackness, that's really what it is. They're black addicts is what they are. They get high off of, this brand of black, because we already said it.
Right.
We're not black. First of all,
right. Just so you know.
We have there's no country that black goes back to.
Yes.
We have a lineage. And as long as they stick with this, it's this brand that was hijacked by,
Kamala Harris.
Madison Avenue.
Yeah.
Right after and let me be clear, when black was created, black was to escape away from Negro.
Right.
Which was too close to the trigger word. So it was like, okay, we'll go to black. And it was something that black people kind of owned. And like, okay, we're like ADOS now. It was like a new term. Okay, we won't be what you call us. We'll become black.
Yeah, you and Hotep spoke about this. It was very good. It was enlightening.
Yeah. And so what happens is that the advertisers and the powers that be say, hey, you know what? Let's create black exploitation films and shape what black is for them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where it got hijacked. It was afros and dashikis and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Then it became perms and these loud suits. And
if I may make the observation that Black Lives Matter was mainly supported by big brands that are big advertisers.
They're trying to rebrand black again. It's like we got to get in. And to be honest, they're going to try this with ADOS. They're going to try to rebrand it. And you've seen that what they're doing is they're rebranding it now. They're bots. Yep. They're anti-immigrant. They're hateful. They're divisive among black people. This is what they do. They take a term and they just brand it. And they did the same thing with black. And that's why now it's the black ink is what is black. And they determine what is black and
they are going to regret. They're going to regret standing on. I think they're already pulling back on Black Lives Matter, as you said.
It's burned.
Yeah, they're going to regret it. They're going to regret it. People might want to remind them.
Yeah. So I think we left off at Stroll, And so even in this clip, I don't know if it was this one or the next one, they mentioned that it even made it up to The View, right? The strolling.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we know. Okay, go. No, you perfect.
I mean, to put it into context, right, I'm a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha. Today is our Founders Day. That's why I'm wearing a sweatshirt that says 1908.
I thought that was the year you were born for a second.
Yeah, no, 1908 is when we were founded. Today is our Founders Day. We were founded 111 years ago. We're the first black sorority that was founded. That was not a great one because my voice is. And what was shocking to me was if you are the reporter following Kamala Harris, then at Howard University, where our sorority was founded, you should know that she's a member. You should know that is our sorority called, and we wear pink and green.
She did know that.
Well, she must not have.
I thought you said she just didn't know the screech.
I don't know. She said members of her sorority. I mean, you would think Kiwis are called.
I could see where you might not know that little detail. I mean, not every reporter knows every single thing.
But the entire room is doing it. I remember just to try to, I mean, this is something that I think you should know. Michelle Obama is an AKA. I mean, this is not rocket science. And the interesting thing is, and the reason there is an AKA is because black women weren't allowed to join white sororities in 1908.
My goodness.
So what she's saying is, how dare you not know who we are?
Oh, yeah. There was a lot of that.
We're the AK. And this was a liberal reporter they tried to cancel behind this. How dare you not know you're following Kamala. You don't know every intricacy of black fraternity and sorority life. How dare you? Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the notion they came with. And now you see why the strolling made it up to The View, because Sonny is bought in. And as we're going to find out, a lot of the media is.
The Center for American Progress said black women are one of the most active voting blocs in the United States. And recently, black women were credited with saving Joe Biden's presidential hopes, carrying him to a momentous win in the South Carolina primary. Land says the success of the Stroll to the Polls campaign shows unity among Greek sororities and the excitement of getting involved in the political process, especially among black women.
We can get the job done, and it shows that black women are always engaged. That culminates into something fantastic for our country, for our families, for our communities.
And Maisha tells me the murals selected to be featured from across Atlanta are also the works of black women. So a lot of shouting out going on there. And full disclosure, I'm a member of Delta Sigma Theta and Aisha,
a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha. And I think it's so important that you mentioned, J. Bell, that this does not have anything to do with a sorority supporting a particular Democrat or Republican. This goes to show what this election means as far as representation. To have someone this high on the ticket that is a member of an organization that you identify with.
We will, translation, we will sell our souls.
That's right.
To be able to say our sorority sister made it into the White House. Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, they're going to pull the plug on Joe. Let's be clear. Let's be completely transparent. The way they're looking at this, the black ink women, we get Joe in there, and we're going to pull the chair off in on him as soon as we get him established. Well, that's the White House.
That's what Nancy Pelosi was doing with the 25th Amendment Commission. It's not for Trump.
Oh yeah,
it's for Joe.
Was setting it up. Yeah,
it's for Joe. Yeah, it's for Joe.
That's exactly.
Isn't that sad? It's like Joe is, he's walking around and he's seeing his gallows being built. The gallows are being built right in plain view. The 25th Amendment.
I'll say this to Joe Biden if he's listening. Welcome to the black man's world, Joe. Welcome to the black man's world. Because they're using you exactly how they've been using us politically all of these years as just a mechanism or a tool to get to, I'm being clear here, not speaking about all black women, because I'm going to be honest with you, black women are fierce and fearless on social media right now. They're pushing back just as hard as black men.
Yeah.
I guess it's that protective nature because they're finally got hipped to what's going on here.
Well, and you saw some of this during the Black Lives Matter Inc. marches and protests. You saw a lot of black women standing up and saying, "Excuse me, the hell are you doing?"
Yeah. But the Boule women, they all for it. It's like, if we can just get one in the White House.
Just get one in. Yeah.
Yeah, because you know what? Barack Obama making it to the White House, they've always felt like this. So Barack Obama making it to the White House before them was a huge smack in the face. Like, we've been carrying the water for a long time, and you put a black man in before you put a black woman in?
And he wasn't even ADOS.
Not even ADOS, but it doesn't matter because she's not ADOS either. But I mean, so
True.
It's just we just need somebody that looks like us, and that's important because I think this has a lot to do with image problem. So we're moving on from there, and I just want to bring up one more point. If you notice, that whole news panel at Live 11 is Boule.
No kidding.
It's like, yeah, I'm from this sorority. Oh, I'm from this sorority.
I'm Delta Kappa Kappa. I'm Kappa Kappa. I was like, right. What?
So if you're a black woman and not in the in crowd, you have a very small chance of making it in this media world. And it's exactly what they complain about.
It's not interesting.
It's the hip. If you don't pledge, you're not making it very far. And I'm the same way for me. I never pledged. Even though, I mean, I had opportunities to, I mean, just that wasn't my cup of tea. But there is some limitations to how far you can make it within that, the infrastructure, as they like to call it.
Yeah.
So we're going to go back to a throwback clip from show 18. And this is from the one and only Steve Coakley, the Boule master.
And all the Greeks, the Alpha, the Kappa, the Omega, and the Sigma. Show you right. The AKA, the Zeta, the Sigma, Gamma, Rho, and the Delta. They will all be informed publicly. Please do not have a public manifestation of the Greek thing. Don't have a big dinner. Don't have a big reception. Don't put it in the paper that you're coming. Because I suggest to you that we're going to start to visit you at your things.
That's right.
And ask you to prove your Greek thing on the spot. So we make a suggestion that we're in the process of penetrating a group of circles. And that these circles are webs which are numerous organizations just beyond the Boule.
Yeah, that was a fun episode. Episode 18.
And he was basically, they at one point we had to go into hiding because people was getting hip to it, but now they're back out and just letting it be known that, you know, what they're all about. Mm-hmm. So it's clear. I mean, clear as day what's going on here, but they're going to regret the day of coming out of the shadows because people have a clear understanding of, and like I said, this is for like government workers and things of that nature. Just because you're part of the group don't mean you're part of the group. Let's just be honest about that. It is really the inter sanctum, of Bouleism that has the power, but they use, like, you always got to have a bag man, right? You always have a front man, a front woman that, oh yeah, they go to the homeless shelter and they feed the homeless.
Right,
and they do all these
the good things. Yeah.
Right. But it's this real power structure on the inside that's making the calls and basically dividing black people. So, and in that division, there's levels. Just like the black man's at the bottom. The next layer of that is the promiscuous or uneducated or unwashed black woman, which they like to use. And I want to make this one point before we play this next clip. Now, reality TV is a huge part of black culture. I'm troubled by it, but they had this reality show come out about sorority life. And on there, some of the women was carrying themselves like some of the women on the other reality shows that are considered low class, like the Love and Hip Hops or the, where Cardi B came from, and that, they're beneath us. They shut that show down real quick because they were like, no, you're not going to misrepresent us. But they didn't use the same energy to shut down the shows that gave us Cardi B and a lot of these other troubling.
Was this Sorority Sisters? Was that the name of the show? Okay.
Yes. got shut down real quick because some of the behavior that was carried on there that they didn't deem acceptable. But it's acceptable for women when you want to use them, like they use these women in this next campaign ad, get your booty to the pole.
Get your booty to the pole, 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 yeah.
Did we get your attention? Good.
So, you're really not gonna vote? You know it's more than just the president on the ballot, right? Check it.
A district attorney decides who to prosecute,
including whether or not to go after dirty cops. Do you know who elects the DA? We do, but you don't want to vote.
Can't make it rain if you locked up on some bullshit.
Want trades and coding taught in our schools? Then vote for the school boards that will prepare us for the job market.
Want to end cash bail?
Well, then vote for the sheriffs and county officials that feel the same way you do.
But you talking about, they gonna pick who they gonna pick, shawty.
Ferguson just elected their first black mayor.
You know how that happened?
It's clear Black lives don't matter to some of our current elected officials. If they matter to you, then don't let other people decide who's going to run your community. Get your booty to the pole. Get your booty to the pole.
Get your booty to the pole.
Get your vote, yeah, vote, stretch.
For information on how and where to vote, as well as resources to find out who's running where you live, go to getyourbootytothepole.com.
This aired once. I saw this. I saw one of these. I've put it in the show notes, of course. I have seen one of these ads, and these are pole dancers. That's the whole setting.
Yes. And it was targeted at black men, like, we can't get them on the, the typical things.
I looked at Tina and I said,
women at them.
Yeah, I looked at Tina. She looked at me, and because she's learning just as much as I am listening to Moe Factz, and she looks at me. She says, "Holy crap!" I said, "Yep, that's what they think of black men,
and that's what they think of unsophisticated black women." We can
ditto
now.
Yeah.
So these are the same women. Women are victimized and, objectified and
there they are hanging on the pole.
Right. But, come on, girls. We need to get these black men to vote. Shake it up.
Unbelievable.
Dance. Like you said, dance.
Yeah.
This is what they told them. It's amazing that you said that because that's exactly what they're telling them.
Okay, so
dance.
I didn't, to be fair, inside baseball, of the white kind, the full term, which I censored myself on for good reason, is
I know exactly what you
dance, monkey boy, dance. That's the full quote. I know I didn't do that out of respect, but
with the grinder,
yeah, exactly. But that's what it is. That's what it is. Dance, monkey boy.
And that go to show you they're not just talking about men. Anybody they feel like they're underneath them, this thing has levels to it, and they like, okay. The only thing you provide is your looks.
Has your mom, has Mama Factz seen that one of those ads, one of those PSAs?
I didn't want to do it to her.
No, okay, good.
I couldn't.
I mean, that
she's
would,
a good Christian woman.
That would, but it's on television. It's on broadcast television, Mo.
Is it?
Yes, yes. I've seen this on television.
When you said that went past me, when you say you saw it, I was thinking about like on your social media.
No, we were watching the TV, and we look at each other like, what did that? What just now? I don't know if it was inserted by the local cable company. That's very possible. So it was an ad that ran at least locally in Austin,
right? So I'm sure it was targeted at certain strip club friendly markets,
as
like
you
Atlanta,
know,
Texas.
As you know, Mo, we live in Southeast Austin, Opportunity Zone 33. There's a reason why it showed up on my cable. Trust me.
Yeah, but this, I'm brothers and sisters. This is what they think of us.
Yeah,
put them women on the pole, shake it up, and like, you can't make it rain, shawty, if you're locked up. It's like what?
That's so low.
Yeah, and it was met with pushback, and by black women.
Yeah,
they were like, "What? This is what you think of us?" But it doesn't stop at that level. They've used Cardi B as well.
There are way more intellectual black Democrats you could have sat down with, yet you chose an illiterate rapper, because that's what she is. She's illiterate.
Yeah, that's Candace Owens throwing some major shade at Cardi B following the rapper's chat with presidential candidate Joe Biden. And Cardi, she's not having it.
Oh, snappity snap snap.
It all started on Sunday when Candace tweeted this clip of herself on the Ben Shapiro show, accusing both the former vice president and Bernie Sanders of pandering to black people by conducting interviews with Cardi.
It is demeaning. It is pandering. It is ridiculous, okay? And she asked pointedly ridiculous questions. I want lower taxes, but I want universal health care for all. She had no idea what she was doing, and yet both Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden made the time to sit with her because they believe black people are stupid. And black people that thought, yay, that's a win. No, it's not a win.
Yeah, she didn't sugarcoat it.
It is one of the biggest insults.
And Cardi, who has opened up before about English not being her first language, fired back on Twitter, writing in part, quote, I don't want to argue with you, Candace. I really don't have the time. I honestly just feel sorry for you. And that's when Cardi took the feud to Instagram Live.
Why wouldn't Joe Biden sit down with me, Cardi B? I have millions of followers, and I pay millions in taxes. I'm heard all around the world. So just like I can make people pop their and have a good time and make them feel like a bad bitch, I could also encourage millions of followers to go vote.
Oh, Moe Factz, you better tell us.
It got, and this is why I don't believe the polls.
No, me neither.
The Democrats have went so low.
Yeah.
Get your booty to the poll, stroll to the poll. Letting Cardi B talk to Biden and Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
And notice when Ice Cube went and talked to the campaigns, oh, he's a rapper. You need an infrastructure behind you. So that lets you know Cardi already has the infrastructure behind her. And she can't even carry on I want to be nice. She can't even carry on a competent conversation. Well, just play the next clip.
Look what's happening right now. You see why we should have been have free Medicare for a long time. I, of course, think that we need free college education. That's second. And I want black people to stop getting killed. And no justice for it. I'm tired of it. I just want more stricter laws that is fair to black citizens. And, it's fair for cops, too. If you kill somebody that doesn't have a weapon on them, you go to jail. You know what? If I kill somebody, I got to go to jail. You got to go to jail, too.
She does a at the end.
That's her actually talking to Biden.
Yes, I remember this.
She actually said while talking to a presidential.
But he needs that cue. It's like, go ahead, your turn, Joe.
And this thing was so heavily edited.
I know.
My God.
Even Dvorak brought clips. It was so insane. And you hear that in contrast with Candace Owens.
Exactly.
Who Tina has a girl crush on her, man. It's like, if Candace comes on, there's a couple women who come on, including Sidney Powell, who's Michael Flynn's lawyer. If Candace comes on, it's like, psh.
And just to be objective, sometimes Candace Owens can dance as well.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because it's like she brings valid points, but it's like, now is not the time. The body's still warm.
It's young. It's experience. She doesn't have the experience yet. She's getting there. You don't think it's experience? You think it's...
I think it's shock value. I'm going to say this, and I know it's going to piss the liberals off.
That's what I mean is experience, knowing when to pull what weapon or tool.
No, it's our brand. No, I mean, it's gotten her to the level that it's got her to, but it's just me, how I interpret it. It's like, yeah, you're right, but it's not the right time. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't repo a guy's car at his funeral. I mean, that kind of, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I understand. I understand.
So that kind of thing.
But can we not chalk that up to her experience and knowing how to do it? Or you think she's being driven and strings being pulled?
No. I think she's smart enough. I'm not saying that when I say dance, I mean, she understands if I say this, it's kind of like Trump-esque.
Yes.
That if I say this.
Yes, you nailed it.
I'm going to get the headlines and get the blowback that's going to fuel like we said, Trump takes that energy on and it makes him grow. So I'm not saying she's ignorant when she says it. I'm just saying that she has such a powerful message that it hurts her with who really needs to hear her. Because I understand what she's doing.
So what you're saying is it hurts her the way I believe it hurts Trump when he goes too far crazy and just, people get it, but it looks so weird towards people who don't.
How the first debate was compared to the second debate.
Voila. Exactly. Exactly that.
I understand why he did that, because it's like, first I'm going to shake things up.
Well, that was the heel. That was the heel. Cause a controversy. Yep.
Hopefully I'll get a huge gaffe out of Biden and put him to bed tonight. That kind of thing. It didn't work.
Yeah.
And then it lowers the bar. So when you come back with the CEO Trump, it's like, oh yeah, he can be competent. I understand. I get all the levels of it.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying I don't get it, but I'm just saying to her, the women you're trying to actually reach, that natural, I call it, the gag reflex is like, don't criticize the dead guy that just got killed yesterday. I get it. We can talk about that next week.
Okay, that's all right. Good. That's good. Candace is a good topic to tackle.
Yeah. So, but when you look at the two parties and who they put up, it's like one is articulate and, and savvy, and the way she carries herself as far as looks is modest, but she's still attractive. She's spot on. And then you have Cardi B over here. It's like, Cardi B? And I think after, and I will say this, after she made this mockery of herself, that's when she pulled a divorce card, which she's back with Offset now. I think that was I got to get the heat off of me because she was getting roasted online. I mean,
she needed a distraction.
Yes.
And then she came out with WAP, and then it was all over. Then she was back on top, baby.
I'm glad you mentioned WAP.
Mm-hmm.
The other star of WAP, and so they needed somebody to take her place. But we're
Megan Thee Stallion.
That.
Is that who?
Yes.
I know these things. Why do I know Megan? Oh, I know. My stepdaughter talks about Megan Thee Stallion.
Before we get there, we got to talk about Tom Burrell and his theory on the stud and sluts.
I'm sorry, which clip is this, Mo? 33?
33, yeah.
Okay, sorry.
You say that this is partly the result of popular culture, which promotes black men as brutes and black women as sluts, the Studs and Sluts campaign. Mm-hmm. Talk about that.
Then you look at the stud farms that existed, that you as a slave, you are a piece of property. We want you tomorrow morning to go over to so-and-so's plantation to mate with so-and-so's wench. Okay?
Oh, gosh.
This was the nature of things. You could be in a family situation, a loving family situation today with your spouse. You wake up the next morning to find your spouse is gone because your spouse was sold. The same thing with your children. They could be gone the next day. You have absolutely nothing to do with it, no control, and people lost their families for life. And you build up a callous to that. You build up a conditioning. Well, this is the way it is. I must be what they say that I am. And then we carry this out, and then everybody's scratching their head, wondering why are we doing this?
So you fast forward 400 years, and this theme seems, the Studs and Sluts theme seems to be carried out certainly in the music videos, which are produced and acted in by black people.
Yes.
Yes.
So would you like to explain who Tom Burrell is? Because, I mean, you've more familiar with his work than I am.
This is from, hell no, we ain't going to take, we're not going to take it no more. What's,
we're not going to take
hold
it.
on. No.
What?
Hold on.
I know he's a marketing genius and built a huge, huge advertising firm.
Rage Against the Machine. There we go.
Okay.
That's who we're talking about, right?
No, Tom Burrell. Burrell.
I was like, who are we talking about here?
Yeah, because you said you've been in his
yes,
sphere before.
I got it. Here we go. I remember now. Let me just bring it up.
That's fine.
Yes, Tom Burrell. He is. He created. Was it Burrell McBain? This was the. Yes. This is a legend. A legend in advertising.
So he understands about brand. The point I'm making is he understands about brands.
Well, yes. I mean, just yes. The Black Marlboro Man, McDonald's, Coca-Cola. He has brought you everything unhealthy. He has brought lots of unhealthy to the black man and black woman. But yes, he's a legend in the business.
Well, when he says this, then you have to hear him out because he understands about branding. And so let's look at he's talking about plantation life. So let's think about this in the terms of the Democratic plantation. They have their studs and they have their sluts.
Mm-hmm.
The studs go vote. You go over here. We tell you where to go. You show up. You do your business. Do your thing. And then you have, this, not my words, his, the sluts. And it's like they keep, they use them for the sexual aspect to keep the studs under control and engaged. And that's basically how they tried to use Cardi, but she wasn't smart enough to be used. Because, of course, she had a huge failure when she tried to talk to Biden, which I don't understand what they were thinking there.
That's Robin Sanders who came up with some idea. I'm sure of it. I'm sure it was her idea.
So what they had to do is they had to swap out. It's like, okay.
This is where Megan Thee Stallion comes in. Okay, I got it. Yes.
All right, 34.
I saw this.
The most disrespected, unprotected, neglected person in America is the black woman.
Over the weekend, Megan Thee Stallion made her Saturday Night Live performance political, highlighting the words "protect black women" behind her on the set during her song Savage, and as well including audio of activist Tamika Mallory's scathing takedown of the Breonna Taylor indictment news.
We need to protect our black women and love our black women. Because at the end of the day, we need our black women.
And the powerful performance was not taken kindly by Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron, who shared his thoughts on Fox News, Fox and Friends Tuesday morning.
Well, let me just say I agree that we need to love and protect our black women. There's no question about that. But the fact that someone would get on national television and make disparaging comments about me because I'm simply trying to do my job is disgusting. The fact that a celebrity that I've never met before wants to make those sorts of statements, they don't hurt me, but what it does, it exposes the type of intolerance that people and the hypocrisy, because obviously people preach about being tolerant. You see a lot of that from the left about being tolerant, but what you saw there is inconsistent with tolerance. In fact, it's her espousing intolerance because I've decided to stand up for truth and justice.
Some inside baseball from the media tip. Mm-hmm. Saturday Night Live, which I was in Manhattan in its, when it was just getting crazy in the 80s. I followed the show. I know people who direct it. I've known people who've worked on it. The musical guest was always the coolest performer or band, and it always sucked. because it was always live. The sound was bad. It was the same junky set where they had to stand in. It was always like, but the next day you could go, or on Monday, wow, did you see the screaming hair bands? Or the screaming mushrooms, whatever, those kinds of bands. Like, yeah, they were really cool. We all knew it sucked. But now, Saturday Night Live is doing high-end production on these numbers. High-end. Most of it was tape, so a lot of lip sync. But the set is built specifically, the Breonna Taylor, the words, the way that was all. This was a very, very costly production. They've been doing more of that with political messages. So just as a note, that's your Comcast NBC participating in this. And it was really well done.
And I'm glad you allied it, because I'm going to go ahead and slam the oop on home. The color coding, the white, black, and red. For my people out there to understand the satanic rituals and the spell casting.
Yep.
That's what that was about.
There's a lot of black and white, a lot of checkers. Everything was there.
And the women dancing around had red wigs on.
Yes.
This is going to be important.
Yes.
I've been pointing out the hair, and Cardi B, different color wig on. So this is important when we get down to a couple more clips. What troubled me is this. One, you're singing a song called Savage. Savage. This is what they called us for many of years. Savages. They're savages.
Yep.
And you go on to do a politically charged performance, and you choose to use the song Savage. Then you have the audacity to stop it, and you're running around women, shaking everything loose. It's no reservations. It's just twerking and jerking, and it's like, what in the world? And then you stop mid-song and go into what led this clip of Malcolm X. And they clipped this clip up to hijack Malcolm X. It's like, see, we're black. We're black. See, we're really black. You know, that's why they're using Malcolm X, and they know he resonates in a certain way with all black people, but especially black males. So I want to clear some things up, because I find this very disgusting, troubling, and I won't let it stand. So what we're going to do is go into the full Malcolm X clip of what they hijacked, or attempting to hijack, on protecting black women.
The most disrespected person in America is the black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the black woman. The most neglected person in America is the black woman. And as Muslims, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us to respect our women and to protect our women. And the only time a Muslim really gets real violent is when someone goes to molest his woman. We will kill you for our woman. I'm making it plain, yes. We will kill you for our woman. We believe that if the white man will do whatever is necessary to see that his woman gets respect and protection, then you and I will never be recognized as men until we stand up like men and place the same penalty over the head of anyone who puts his filthy hands out to put in the direction of our women.
Wow. I'm glad you played that all in context.
Yeah. So let's dissect this thing here for a second. He starts off by saying black women are the most unprotected women, which was true at that time. But then he goes on to say, protect our women. Mm-hmm. When he's talking about our women, he's talking about Muslim women.
Mm-hmm.
He's not talking about like black women in general. And the reason why I say that is one of the most iconic scenes from the movie X by Spike Lee is it has Malcolm, played by Denzel Washington, walking down a street in Harlem through a stroll. Which is a place where, and stroll to the pole, put that two and two together, but a stroll of prostitutes. And then like, oh, come on, daddy, don't you know what I'm saying? He's walking, he's not stopping to engage with them, and it's showing white men procuring their services and things of that nature. So he was very clear. Unless you adhere to being a woman or a lady and not a female, because those are different things, you don't deserve our protection. And that's what that scene illustrated. Now, the trick work they did was they cut it right there. I have the whole speech. And and the reason why I was bringing up hair color, wigs, all that kind of thing is relevant to this next clip.
Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach to get like the white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? So much so that you don't want to be around each other. No, before you come asking Mr. Muhammad, does he teach hate? You should ask yourself, who taught you to hate being what God gave you?
Wow. This is good. Wow. I love it. I love it.
So now when most women in Hollywood make it, they get lighter, their nose gets thinner, their hair gets lighter, almost to blonde. I mean, we can go down the list. And the co-feature on Megan Thee Stallion's song Savage is one Beyonce. And you can clearly see the lightening of Beyonce, the
everything, the hair, the style, the outfits.
So if you're going to use Malcolm, use him in proper context, because it's the same exact speech. It's not like I cherry picked one speech.
I'm surprised. I mean, I of course didn't know this, but I'm surprised that no one was all over this saying, wow, that was really messed up what you did there.
Who's going to do it?
Yeah, well,
the right can't touch Malcolm,
right,
because of how he's perceived,
mm-hmm.
and the left is the one using him. So I mean, who other than us? Who's going to stand up and say,
You're right.
This is the way it's being played. So I just want to lay that out because I find it very disgusting. If Malcolm X was here living today, he would be very troubled by how women are being used. And let's be clear, they are being used to, I don't know, as objects. And they always talk about people objectifying them. And somebody brought this up. They were like, the more women get control of themselves from the quote unquote patriarchy, the less clothes they wear. So, which, I mean, because if you look at the 1900s, it was, dresses down to the floor. I'm not saying a woman can do what they want with their hair. They can do what they want with their clothes, whatever. What I'm saying is this, is that you can't objectify yourself and then want to say, oh, we're not being respected by men that have no respect for women in general. Stand up, guys. We will protect women to the end. I have 3 daughters. I have a wife. I have a mother. Like Malcolm X said, I will kill you over them. And I'm being literal. If I see a woman in distress and, and I can help, and it's not something that she put herself into, I will help. But if you're putting yourself in the line of fire, this is what black men are saying. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, I mean, what?
Well, to me, when I saw the "Get Your Booty to the Polls" ad, I'm like, wow, they're so desperate. It's desperation. It's desperation. It has to be.
Right. And it's desperation for the women they're using too, because I want to clarify this one thing. We can't forget the survival sex aspect of this.
Right.
A lot of these women don't have any other choice. Cardi B, I'm sure she probably had a hard life.
What episode did we do that on, Mo? We did a survival sex episode.
That was on the one with I can't remember which one it was.
No, I'm bad at it.
But we played the clips over and over. I mean, as a throwback clip, because it's very important. It's not like women wake up one day and say, "Hey, you know what? Some women do. But a lot of women say, you know what, this is the last resort. It's kind of like the same thing with drug dealing. A lot of guys don't wake up and say, you know what, I'm going to be a drug dealer. It's
Episode 8. Episode 8.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
So they're victims of circumstance, but what I find disgusting is the way they're being used and played on both sides, the studs and the sluts. Because it's like, you don't have any other way, and you don't have any other choice. I get it. I mean, I get it. I understand where Cardi B comes from. I understand where Megan Thee Stallion comes from. It's alluring, one. Two, if you don't have any better choice. But what I have a problem is, and this is when you said you heard it on TV, we don't have any filters anymore.
No.
A lot of times it's like, okay, I mean, I'm not a prude. And I grew up watching Uncut on BET at 3 a.m. I mean, as a young man, so I'm not a prude, but that kind of thing didn't come on to 3 a.m. It's like,
right. And now we got
3 p.m.
Now we got WAP at the top of the charts with the video everywhere being heralded as fantastic and so liberating for women.
Right, and I'm going to finalize on this point I'm making because I know it's like, oh, you're slut shaming or you're this or that. No,
we're not. No, that's not true. It doesn't come across that way at all.
True. What I'm saying is some women may hear this way, and it's a trigger, and I'm just observing that it may be triggering to them. What I'm saying is this: and when you let women represent you and boil you down to one part of your anatomy, then you have people that look at you like an object. And it puts us in a very awkward place because a lot of good women just follow along because that's the trend. And then they invite unwelcome behavior. And then that puts a black man or any man in an awkward position of, do I maintain this woman's honor and put myself into, there's a lot of men in jail behind that scenario.
Yes.
For real.
Yes.
So, that's the end of my rant, but yeah, it's very troubling. But they've used this person, Megan Thee Stallion, to levy that black men are harmful to black women, including this shooting between her and Tory Lanez.
Megan Thee Stallion getting candid about that shooting incident last month, sharing some graphic pics. And let me tell you, it's not pretty. The 25-year-old rapper took to Instagram Wednesday to clap back at the haters who seem to believe she made the whole story up. In the since-deleted post, Meg shared these two close-up shots of her feet that appear to have been taken shortly after the incident. The WAP rapper had to undergo surgery to remove the bullet fragments. Ouch. And if that weren't enough to drop the mic on her haters, she captioned the pics, quote, "What I have learned about majority of the people on social media is y'all like to hear bad news before good news. A lie spreads quicker than the truth, and y'all really be believing the shit y'all make up." Megan wrapped up her post writing, "God was really watching over me, and I'm healing so well." In July, Megan opened up about the shooting in an Instagram Live Q&A.
Oh, Lord, I didn't think I was going to cry. But yeah, I had to get surgery. It was super scary. It was like just the worst experience of my life. There's nothing to joke about.
She also shared details about the injuries she sustained.
And thank God that the bullets didn't touch bones. They didn't break tendons. Like I know my mama, my daddy, my granny had to be looking out for me with that one.
Yeah.
Now I will say this, and this is where we get conspiratorial. So can I get some theory? Because I'm about to go all the way there.
Yeah, I think we can arrange that for you. Theremin! Yes, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
He's going off the reservation once again.
First of all, Megan Thee Stallion is the ideal blood sacrifice recipient. Because the very time she got signed, her mother died. I'm going there tonight because if you're going to use them, I have to dismantle these people because they're tools against, us as a lineage and as a group. So you have this woman, her and Cardi B. I think they're clear MK Ultra sex kittens. Mm-hmm. Let's just keep it 100. And then you have this shooting that happens. You don't have hold on, you get shot in the foot, don't hit any bones or tendons.
No bones. Yeah. It's a miracle. It's a miracle.
And then you get shot by a Canadian, Tory Lanez, but then you try to put down the black man's tab. And as far as when you say black, you mean Black American ADOS.
And by the way, I heard my millennials talking about this incident, and they for sure know that the black man shot her in the foot. I'm not kidding. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Of course. Because that's what Megan, they was like, Megan, you play this up.
Yep.
This works perfect for, the agenda. We'll make you the victim. We'll make you, the sympathetic figure. We'll make Tory Lanez the bad guy. I'm not saying who are bad or not. I don't know if he shot the ground and then fragments from cement, hit her foot. Well, I'm not saying that it's a hoax. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying, if you get shot in your foot and it doesn't hit any bones, that's almost damn near possible. I mean, your foot is mostly bones. Have you ever dropped anything on your foot? I mean, knock it off. But Tory Lanez, not an ADOS. I'm not going to say, not an ADOS. He's Canadian. So it's the perfect thing. It's, we got Megan Thee Stallion here. She's the victim of black men. She's going to galvanize black women. I didn't know the gender war.
I didn't know the Canadian angle. That's hilarious. Shot by a Canadian. Oh no.
That's what we need to start saying. Not a black man. He was shot by a Canadian.
Yeah, because black is not a country. Canada is. Shot by a Canadian.
Yes. That doesn't fly over very well. So now once she gets shot, they give her the SNL. She has the #1 song. Her and Cardi B basically passed her the baton. Because Cardi B was the go-to, but it's like, she's too...
Got her in the WAP video.
Yeah, got her in the WAP video. Now, and to be honest with you, they know which songs are going to be hits. They dole them out. It's like, okay, yeah, we want this celebrity to blow, so we'll put them on this song, right? I mean, it's all about
you
features.
Add Kylie Jenner to the video. What more? What more do you need?
Exactly. You're off to the races. So now you have Megan Thee Stallion. She's on SNL, and now she's writing op-eds for the New York Times.
This morning, hip-hop star Megan Thee Stallion speaking out and speaking up for black women in America.
Being constantly told she's too much or not enough.
The most disrespected person is the black woman.
The singer penning a powerful op-ed piece in the New York Times, taking on the issue of violence against women, opening up about her own experience and what she describes as being a victim of an act of violence by a man, explaining the issue is even more intense for black women who struggle against stereotypes and are seen as angry or threatening when we try to stand up for ourselves and our sisters.
For her to speak to these issues and to speak to us specifically, because the conversation is almost always about everybody else but black women, it's very meaningful and it's very significant.
This comes just days after the rap superstar performed her mega hit Savage on Saturday Night Live. The words "protect black women" behind her on stage, featuring quotes from Malcolm X and activist Tamika Mallory, calling out Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron for his handling of the Breonna Taylor case.
We need to protect our black women and love our black women.
Megan Thee Stallion's op-ed pointing to other obstacles black women face, like disproportionately high mortality rates for black mothers, and citing a 2019 stat that 91% of transgender or gender non-conforming people who were fatally shot were black.
My goodness. Whoa. That was a great report.
Who's missing? It has everything. It has Malcolm. It has
you got a hump on your back. You are missing an arm. Everything but
black men.
Wow.
But because we say black people as inclusive to them, that's not enough. You didn't go far enough. But then you talk about these stereotypes. Who's fueling the stereotypes?
Very interesting. I did a Google search, Malcolm X, the most disrespected, and then black woman. I'm putting that in the show notes. Very interesting to see all the different organizations latching onto this all around the right time.
They're trying to MLK him.
Totally.
When you go from a person into a product, that's they finally figured a way with this clip. We can package them now.
Use the sample. Just sample him. Yeah. We sample him. Most disrespectful person in the world is a black woman. Whoa.
But they talking about trans women, everything else, but not black men. And it's,
I mean, literally, people. I don't even want to go there. I get it.
Yeah.
It's crazy. How do you feel? How do you feel, Mo?
I feel good because people are seeing through this bull crap. I mean, they're scraping the bottom of the barrel here.
As I said, desperation, man, and desperation.
It's true signs of desperation. When this is what you have,
that's it.
That's Megan Thee Stallion, and then she's even been called out on social media because her story is flimsy, and and then Tory Lanez even came out. And I'll say this, at the same time, so that clip included man hater number one, Jemele Hill.
Mm-hmm.
And so Jemele Hill sent out a tweet that got the whole social media going. I'm going to do a show on this, blame black men.
Yes. Well, yes. This was, we saw this trending.
Yes. And now, it was so therapeutic. It was like all the black men came and just had a release. Like, you want to blame us for something? Blame us for everything, okay? The Hindenburg, the Titanic.
Hashtag blame black men as the Titanic sinking.
I was up tweet. I haven't tweeted so much in my life because I don't even use Twitter like that. I mean, except to, promote the show. But I had to get in on the fun. And I was just like, yeah, blame us for this too while you're at it.
But
and I had, of course.
Go ahead.
Of course, I had to put J. Edgar Hoover out there.
Oh, yeah.
It's like...
Listen to this, though. Even though I follow you, even though I was looking at all of your tweets, following, it did not show up on my timeline. Black Twitter did not bleed through at all to me.
And they had to get on top of it. So what they did was, I think Tory Lanez saw a blame black men. He did his first live since the shooting.
Oh, stop it away.
But at the same time, this creepy smiling Bill Cosby.
That popped up all of a sudden.
The algos, man, they were playing with it, and then they shut down the blame black man movement.
They did.
Who do you want to? Which side do you want to kick off the Thanksgiving table? Yams or cornbread or collard greens? I'm like, man. So the people in these higher ups, they understand how to control the narrative.
They do.
But the blame the black man, that was so beautiful. It was, it was a huge release. Like, finally.
And I wish I could have seen it that way, but the algos did not bring it to me, even though I was
it was number one. It was number one on my Twitter.
Well, hello. This is my point.
We got to get your Twitter darker. Darker shade of gray.
I don't know what to do. I'm lost. I mean, I got lots of ADOS following me, and people tweet me, but no, the algo's like, no. And I got it. Look, my last name's Curry. You'd think I would get a little bit of respect from the algos, but no.
They locked that thing down. But yeah, I'll be covering that later on in another show, Blame. But people will say, Mo, well, it's just music. Why are you so hard on them? Let them do what they want to do. Well, the last hot song before WAP Megan Thee Stallion had was Hot Girl Summer. And Hot Girl Summer has real consequences.
That's a good piece. You're a wig designer?
Yeah.
Yeah, you designed the hell out of that one.
Thank you.
So how can I help you, India?
So my sister kind of had a hot girl summer this summer.
Okay.
She was messing around with like 3 guys. And now she's pregnant. And we don't know who the father is. So my question to you is, how do I advise her without judging her?
Is it your little sister or big sister?
My older sister.
Damn, that hurts even more.
This is her first pregnancy.
And she doesn't know who the father is. Well, she only messed around with 3 guys.
Only 3, right?
So what she needs to do is visit each guy. Now, is she showing yet?
No.
Perfect. Here's the plot. She is going to visit each guy and take their toothbrushes.
Okay.
No. And you get that DNA test done so that she doesn't look whorish when she goes back and says, who's the father? Who's the father? Who's the father?
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So she was using no protection, just screwing around.
Hot girls.
No, hot girls don't do that.
She was hot.
Hot stupid. But that's the thing. The thing is that you need the DNA test, and the best way to do it is to grab the toothbrush.
We can do that show.
Hot.
Wow.
Sleeping around with 3 different men, no protection.
I'm speechless.
Yeah. 3 different men, no protection. Now you have a child, don't know who the father is. Obviously, it's not that serious situation. So that contributes to, let's see, possibly STDs, which affects black women, single parent household, which affects black women, possibly lead to abortion if you don't want, I don't know who the father is. I mean, let me cover this thing up.
Sadly,
so all the things that ail black women, these people contribute to it.
And sadly, maybe I was hearing it wrong, but she said, this was the first pregnancy.
Yeah.
Like, this is not her third, like usually. It's like, mind-boggling.
No, but what that goes to show you is until she was programmed with this hot girl summer madness, it was, she's dodged it to this point, but like she said, she was hot. Like, she was laughing about it. And like, that's the thing. The audience, they know. And Wendy Williams, sleeping with 3 men and owning it, that's horse. But if you sneak around and steal the toothbrushes, that's no problem.
No, that's good.
So I just want to let people know these things have real, and guess what? Wig tech, long blonde wig. Even Wendy acknowledged it. If you want to listen to the first 5 seconds of the clip one last time.
Yes. Yep, I heard her say it. Gosh, of course, I know what this does.
That's a good piece.
That's a designer.
You're a wig designer?
Yeah.
Yeah, you designed the hell out of that one.
Thank you.
So this is now, is this the callback to Garza and her wig?
Yeah. And Cardi B and hers, and Megan and hers, all of them wear wigs. Who taught you to hate yourself? Like Malcolm would say, come on now. But there's always hope. I never want to leave the people.
Phew, thank you. I need it too. I need some hope. I need some hope, Mo.
On a sour note, and this is why I was running late again, because people, I think they love to do this to me as a game now. It's like, let's wait till Saturday to see more really good clips. This is the final one. MSNBC, undecided black women in Atlanta on the candidates.
I am totally undecided. I'd write your name in at this point.
Usually by now I would have voted already, but I'm just not comfortable with either one of them right now.
What are you looking for? What do you need to hear?
Let's start at the crime bill and the fact that he has not only not apologized, not only he has not only not rectified. Every time he reverts back to, well, it was the Black Caucus members in the church, but they were with it too. Okay, you fooled them as well.
You never said I'm sorry. It's like I didn't do it.
I want to hear an ironclad plan. I don't want to hear if this or if that or after the election.
Does the presence of Kamala Harris on the Democratic ticket sway you at all?
Not at all. I don't know who said she had our vote. She does not. We were supposed to grab onto Kamala with the black girl magic, but that didn't happen because she didn't right her wrongs.
Like, I hold officials accountable. I don't care what color you are. And I think that too often we automatically think that because someone looks like you, that they're going to have your best interests at heart. And that's just not simply true.
Wow. This was on MSNBC, huh?
Yes. After the debates.
Woo! I saw the Los Angeles Times did a big Zoom call with undecided voters. And it was more black than white. In fact, it was very shaded, I would say. Except for one, all said, based upon what we saw tonight, Trump. Now, none of them brought up these issues, which of course is underlying it all, and that's why it's such a beautiful clip, especially from MSNBC.
And the nodding lady, we didn't even bring her.
Yeah, the nodding lady behind Trump, and it was so beautiful during his town hall because you knew they couldn't remove her because it was so obvious she was a black woman. If you removed her, it's like kudos to whoever did that, and Saturday Night Live even had to make a joke of it. That was so good, and that woman was uncancelable at that moment because you know the control room was like, holy crap, get rid of her, get rid of her. It's like,
I'm sorry, control room, she's a black guy. Do you really want me to remove the black lady?
And she might have been a double agent. Where they thought, let's put a black lady behind there because she'll be like, oh, Trump, oh, he's no good. And she just went, I'm ringing my bell for that lady.
That goes to show you. And this is Atlanta, the stronghold.
Land of Stacey Abrams. Stacey Abrams.
Keisha Bottoms and and the Atlanta 5 Boule.
Woo! This is so beautiful. I love it.
Live at 11.
Yeah. Atlanta 5-11, Boule at 11.
Yeah, Boule at 11. Yeah. So we're winning, and what I mean by winning, is people are finally. All I ask is that you think. I don't tell people what to think. I try to help them on how to think by recognizing the memes and all these things. So I feel confident that my desire of the lowest voter turnout, or even swaying the vote the other way to put us in play. You see $500 billion on the table. That's a real, if nothing more than to say, hey, we'll heal you out. We will heal you out. And we got to pray for Ice Cube.
We have to pray for a lot of people, but definitely for Ice Cube. And thank you, Mo. This was great. This was, it's so worth it. I think this is probably one of our best episodes. I know I say it every single time. So also thank you to E-Class. I know he's lurking in the shadows. He's your support.
Always.
He's your support. He's your support. I know.
Coach. He's the coach.
He's the coach. And again, thank you to Hotep Jesus. This has been just so much fun for me. I feel really, really happy and really good about this. We did some work, Mo.
Oh yeah. And as I always say, pay attention to everything and the truth will reveal itself.
And we may not speak until after the election. If we do, it would be an emergency broadcast, but I can't wait for it. Mo, thank you once again, my friend.
All right, Adams. See you next week.
Open your eyes so you can see, little girl, that you're hurting me.